Marco? Question mark.
They heard your voice crack there, Marco. That was the first thing they see on this wonderful Saturday morning.
Good morning.
On that lovely note of puberty, we welcome you to the Comics Pals. Thank you so much for joining. All four of us are on deck this week. Count them. No.
Count 'em.
Kale.
One, two, three. Oh,
Kale misses big.
Come on, Kale. Come on.
Damn, it's-
I was watching myself, and then I and then I looked at my apple, and I went, I got to take a bite of that. Missed it completely.
All right. Well, we'll wake up. It's early for us. Well,
And
not
also,
for you.
what's up, hot dogs?
There you go. There you go. What's up, Kefis? How you doing? Say hello as you join us live in the chat. Love to hear from you all. So, we have a lot to talk about today. It feels like the drama never stops
Can't
with
stop, won't
DC.
stop.
Warner Brothers Discovery DC.
drama comics.
Yes, it is nonstop. So we've got that to talk about. We've got the secret Batgirl screening that shook
What?
Twitter. Yes,
You didn't go,
Batgirl was
Marco?
screened.
What?
You didn't go?
No, I didn't make it, dude.
We sent out the invites.
Oh well, didn't arrive in the mail.
You fucking told me it was deleted.
Yeah, they deleted it off the hard drive. I think they just didn't want the directors to get to it, which
Wild.
you know, in a sense, I mean, it is wild. I agree with that, but in a sense, it's kind of smart because the directors literally went right to try to get that footage. So I guess it was the right thing to do. Keep a director from their work. Yes. We might have
the right thing to do.
Yeah, we might have found out who the director of Fantastic Four is. Kefis.
Oh. Oh.
And in our main topic, we're going to be talking about the most underutilized characters in comics. This is going to be a fun conversation. I'm excited to talk about the
This
most.
is according to us. This is our opinions that are factual at the same time.
Yeah, and by the way, there's a difference between underutilized and underrated. Okay. So don't say, when we get into it later on, don't say, oh, yeah, I think Hal Jordan is underutilized. Or, yeah, he's underutilized. No, the fuck he's not. If people don't like him and you think he's underrated, that doesn't count. Hal Jordan is everywhere.
You get a sweaty comics fan who's like, in my opinion, Batman doesn't get enough titles.
Hey. That is a pretty decent impression of me, but let's keep it civilized, Marco. We don't need to be making fun of me. Come on.
No need to put Tyler on Front Street like that. That was disrespectful.
Not to his face.
No.
Yeah, do it behind my back. Jeez.
At the
Yeah,
very
come
least,
on.
right? I have a bang tattoo in my shoulder.
A Bane tattoo?
A bang. I don't know, what is it? Bang
It
or
says
bong?
dong.
Dong,
No, it
that's
says
right.
ding, but because I gained weight, it looks like dong now. So I just
Wait,
tell people
you-
we want to see my dong tattoo, and they're like, "Excuse me." I get a slap in the face, and they walk away from the bar. But
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think that goes over too well at parties. But before we get into all that, I do want to let you guys know how you can support the show all over the place. Most important, number one thing, listen to us wherever you can, support however you can, whatever's comfy for you. We appreciate you all. Patreon.com/thecomicspals, where for as little as $3 a month, you can support your boys, get access to our newsletter, which this week Kale dropped his latest cup of coffee.
That's right. I went home over my break, and I got to watch two minor league baseball games.
Let's go.
And I am absolutely in love with my hometown minor league baseball team, the Amarillo Sod Poodles.
Oh, that's so fucking wholesome.
Dude,
So
minor
good.
league baseball teams are the best for like team names, and like they do like wacky shit at the games too. There's like Savannah
it-
Bananas is like another one.
They
There's like
had at
they're
this
like
one the big thing was they made people take their kids and roll them up like tacos.
nice. I know the Brooklyn Cyclones just had a Seinfeld night.
Incredible.
Where they had people dress up like Seinfeld characters and then start dancing, and somebody
I
did
saw
the
that
Elaine
on
dance
Reddit.
and won.
I saw that on
Yeah.
Reddit.
Come on.
It was the Elaine dance competition, right?
Guys, this is the
Oh,
most sports
yeah,
talk
yeah,
that has
yeah.
ever been on this podcast. So
That's probably true.
Yeah.
But
Amazing.
if you're a Patreon listener, I highly recommend listening to the Sod Poodles anthem, their team song. It's incredible.
Exciting.
Listening to it as like after they watch your cup of coffee.
It doesn't matter. Do it now. YouTube it. Amarillo Sod Poodles song.
Well, you said if you're a Patreon member, so I was like, is that is like how did like anyone
yeah.
could just do that?
We
Yeah,
no,
y'all
we
can
have
have
a
that one for free.
we have a specific partnership with the Amarillo Sod Poodles, where they can only
That's right.
listen to it if they're patrons of our show. So.
Oh, all right. Also, Chillmonger says Sod Poodles is the third autofill suggestion after you Google Amarillo. So there you go.
Wow. Okay.
It's incredible. That's putting my town on the map where it doesn't belong.
Funny. What is up, Chillmonger? By the way, welcome. Thank you for joining. Everyone should check out Chillmonger on YouTube. Good dude, puts out good content. 33 burning questions for the MCU. Goes live. I don't know if you go live every single Saturday, but if you do, that's happening around 1. What do you do? Like 1 p.m. somewhere in there.
Dude
I'm gonna
puts
make it
out
one
content too.
day.
Like
Yes.
every time I open up the YouTube, I'm like, oh, new Chillmonger just dropped. So
Every
He said
Saturday. Yeah.
Every Saturday.
There you go. Yeah. But at the $10 or more tier, you can get yourself on Patreon a superhero nickname, super villain nickname, and a shout out. So I want to say thank you to these fine people. Thunderstruck Rebecca Alejandro, the Night Stalker Harris Najinski, Brian Demolisher Del Pozo, Random Rocio, Kefis the Incorruptible, The Great Destroyer Hyper Viper 89, Momentum Mike Elliott, Starcrossed Catherine Stars, Indestructible Indy Aaron, and The Ultimate Fighter Snake of Talons. Thank you all so much. We appreciate you. Twitch.tv/The Comics Pals. This show live every single Saturday at 10:15 a.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Eastern for Pals Pulls every single Thursday. YouTube.com, subscribe, like, share with your friends. All that stuff's free to do. Helps us out a lot more than it costs you. Join us on Discord, where we're always having a great time talking comics, movies, weeb stuff. You know it. Video games, all that jazz.
also check us out on TikTok.
Put out some new content there.
Sure, I did.
If that's considered content, see, that's why I don't like the word content. All right, because content can be Tyler posting weird shit on TikTok.
Informative.
All right, if you say so. It can also be 90 Day Fiance universe.
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 That's what they call it now. Yeah.
yeah.
It's the universe.
Yes. The infographic that WB Discovery used to talk about the brands they have access to listed Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Hogwarts, whatever, Wizarding World, and 90 Day Fiance universe.
So to add to that, I think recently in a WB Discovery call, they equated Chip and Joanna Gaines as the same popularity as DC characters.
No way.
Who is that?
Yep.
It's all content.
This is like they're like home renovators that were on Discovery Channel.
Oh, definitely as big as Batman. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So always fun with the DC stuff. But anyways, I I wanna get into the listener comments and then I wanna have a little fun. So Tyler, why don't you take it away with that?
Yeah, sure. Let me just do a little scrolling. Bear with me here. Okay, so on was it last week's episode 305? Dan Trudeau had a comment on 304 actually. Today's 305. Is a Marvel and DC film possible? So he says, I want to believe the new WB will do better by DC, but talking about Todd Phillips or The Rock being guiding forces going forward makes me nervous. I had a thought while you guys discussed the potential big crossover. It wouldn't surprise me if there was a Roger Rabbit style superhero film in the future, where the crossover wasn't the main story, but happening in the background supporting it. Having grown up on classic cartoons, it was mind-blowing seeing Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny and Daffy and Donald Duck in the same scene together. But I think it keeping the cameos made for a better experience. Not sure if it would be as good as composite Ultron Brainiac. I kind of love that. But the idea came to mind while listening. The biggest issue with that would be keeping Easter eggs cameos from overwhelming the main story. By the way, Wonder Woman wielded Thor's hammer in DC versus Marvel. Superman wielded it in JLA Avengers. Seeing him on the cover with Cap's shield and Thor's hammer made the 10-year-old inside of me very happy.
That's awesome. I love that.
So
for context, last week on the show, we discussed what a Marvel and DC crossover would look like on the big screen. We pitched our idea for how that could work, and that's what Dan is reacting to there. Yeah, I agree with all that. I think, going after Todd Phillips and The Rock for, advisory positions is weird. Not that Todd Phillips isn't talented, he certainly is, but if you're basing his, guide, like if you're basing why he should be a guide of DC on Joker, I don't think that's not like a great reason. Not that the movie wasn't good, I just don't think that shows that he can handle a universe of films.
There's not an equivalency there of, okay, because he made a good movie or a few, doesn't mean he can make like a cohesive story that goes through other films and has to connect and everything.
Also, Dan coming after my heart with the Roger Rabbit reference. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. But that idea of that as a superhero sort of thing is interesting. Have a maybe smaller story to the forefront, and then like all of your major heroes just run around in the background.
I mean, that's what Kingdom Come is. Just add a cartoon character, and that's what that is.
That would be like
Slapstick.
a Batmite movie.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
That's
Fucking
some
sold
scale
that
territory.
shit.
Yeah. What would be the Marvel equivalent? So Batmite versus Deadpool?
Ooh.
Oh. Batman was
Would Deadpool be the catalyst to a crossover movie? Jesus.
Well, that was Nihilist's idea. Nihilist said that his idea was way more obvious than ours, which was to do that. Deadpool being the catalyst. So maybe there's something to it. Thank you, Catherine, for the sub. 7-month streak. That's awesome.
Nice.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I didn't realize, by the way, that all those characters were in Roger Rabbit. I got to see that again.
Oh, dude. That's a great movie. The dueling piano scene with Daffy and Donald. Classic stuff.
Speaking of Chillmonger left us a comment on Pals Pulls from this week. Go ahead.
So Chillmonger said, AXC Judgment Day combined its version of Civil War Frontline into the main story. Yeah, I can see that.
That's why it's not working.
Need something to separate those out.
Well, it's really funny. So, again, for context, because this is important. On Pals Pulls this week, Thursday, we talked about AXE Judgment Day #3, and I said that I felt like the book would benefit from a frontline style tie-in run. Frontline was the Civil War companion piece that showed us the ground level of that event from the perspective of people who primarily weren't in the main book. And AXE has this whole like civilian angle to it, and now everybody's being judged, and so that's why the civilians kind of factor in. It's cool. It just feels sort of, I would say, it feels like kind of out of place. Not even necessarily bad, but it just doesn't feel right for the main story. I think it would make a lot of sense outside of that. Well, Marvel is actually publishing exactly that book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Tom Brevoort did a vlog with Forbidden Planet, where he was interviewed for an hour over there on their channel. And
he just not have anything better to do.
no, I don't think Tom does. The other thing about Tom Brevoort is that he doesn't sleep. And so, I don't know that to be true. But when you have all that encyclopedic Marvel knowledge rattling around in your brain, how could you possibly sleep? Don't you just wake up at night thinking about Sauron's first appearance was of X-Men in 1965? Back to sleep. Like, isn't that what happens?
I believe it's 80s, 86.
Okay, whatever it is.
Yeah,
you can't expect me to know it. I'm not Tom Brevoort.
That's right.
I don't
He's
think
the
you're
man.
never
Gonna
down.
be, you're never gonna be with that attitude.
You're right.
There's too much in that head. He can't even lay down. It's just too heavy.
Yeah, like the leader. I imagine that underneath that hat that Tom Brevoort always wears is just a massive dome.
Yeah.
Like the brain is just like a little squishy, like just showing through.
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
Always pulsating with comic book knowledge.
Yes. 100%. There's some DC in there too. Tom Brevoort knows everything. But so in this interview, he spoke at length about AXE Judgment Day, and he talked about these one-shots that are coming out. So it's AXE Avengers #1, AXE X-Men #1, and AXE Eternals #1. Each of them will be written by Kieran Gillen. Each of them will have art by not Valerio Schiti, so 3 different artists, and they'll all be colored by Nick Klein. So for the Avengers one, we have Federico Vincenti doing the art. For the X-Men one, it's Francisco Mobili, and Eternals is Pasquale Ferry.
A lot of European artists.
Yeah,
Can I read the solicit for the Avengers one real quick?
sure.
Tony Stark has spent his life building suits to protect him. Now he has to enter a suit of armor that could kill us all.
Can
Like
he
he's not a-
survive?
Like he's not a weapons manufacturer and all of his suits couldn't kill us all?
This is
I
a
suppose.
corporation. Yeah.
Doesn't
Anyway,
he have
that's
like a big ass suit that he fought Galactus with too? Like I feel like he's got one of these already.
So is the premise of this that this is going to be exploring those side characters? that we
I
can-
haven't had the chance to say the premise. Yeah,
Okay.
so I want to use Tom Brevoort's words to kind of get us there. So he said, the question of judgment and worthiness and adjudicating the value of a person's life, that really thematically is the meat of what Kieran brought to the table in terms of writing the story and making this story of today. It's a very divisive time, blah, 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 blah. How do you measure individual value? How do we weigh the worth of a given life across the line of various tie-in books and things? We'll see different characters facing their own judgments, not just our heroes, but our villains as well, and some supporting cast members and just ordinary people. So that's that right there, right? We're going to see it from the perspective of a lot of characters, but ones that aren't the focus of the story yet. And so he said, as we're getting issue 5, right after issue 5 comes the 3 one-shots. They're one-shots, but what they really are is Judgment Day 5A, 5B, and 5C. There's a lot of tie-ins to an event all the time, and some of them tend to be crucial to the center, and some of them tend to be further out. These 3 issues are going to bridge Judgment Day 5 and the concluding Judgment Day number 6. So he's just selling the importance of them. And to underscore that fact, the way they are solicited is the first of 3 story essential Judgment Day one-shots. So they're each labeled as story essential. They really want you to buy these one-shots, guys.
Is it essential, do you think?
I think they're critical.
Are we going to buy them, though, is the question.
Yeah.
We'll find out on Palace Polls.
And the covers connect.
That's actually pretty cool. That's always fun.
Oh, shit.
Now I have to get it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my
That'll
3
work on
iPads next to each
exactly.
other.
That's reason enough right there.
How else can I do
If
it?
me, you, and Kale combine our tablets, we can maybe connect these covers.
Exactly, right there. There you go. Easy.
So yeah, if it's gonna be essentially, a series where we're seeing these side characters, sure, I'm in. It's what I wanted, and I think it can work.
There are more of these than just these 3?
No, just these 3.
Yeah, and this will connect into issue 6, but after 5.
Yeah, so 5A, 5B, 5C. They're not labeled that way, but that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
verbiage
yeah.
Tom used. Yeah.
I don't know. I think if you're gonna have, so since we've been doing the show, I'm more relatively new to events, and like I get the value for some tie-ins and how they can add to or take away from, but I think you should be able to at least follow through to 6, right? Like they're not going to be so important that they're going to be a detriment to your reading between issue 5 and issue 6 of AXE.
Tom said that you can not read them, but that it'll enhance the story if you do. And I think he's kind of working, like he's really trying to sell these as essential. Yeah. I don't know if can you guys think of a comic book event where you literally could not have read it without tie-ins? I can't think of one.
I think Secret Invasion relies heavily on tie-ins filling in some crucial blanks. I think it's still readable as a main series, but like I think the discovery of Hank Pym as Skrull, I think, is in one of the tie-ins first.
Yeah, but you don't need that.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they're skippable. All tie-ins are ultimately skippable, but I think if Tom is saying that these need to be read, then I'll read them.
Well, if
Sure.
Tom says it.
Yeah.
Sold.
Yeah, Kefis says Civil War does too. The tie-ins are super influential, but you can read the main book without. Exactly. Like, it functions without them, but some of them are very important. So you just kind of have to figure that out for yourself. But we will be reading these on the show
Sean,
for sure.
Are you just saying this because the X-Men one has Jean Grey in a starring role? Like, I think you might be a little biased here.
Dude, there is no way on earth we're not going to read a comic book that has Jean Grey on the cover.
It's fair. It's fair. Remember her solo series a couple years back with the Young X-Men? That was a good book. The Bendis era.
Yes. Who was the writer on that? Boy,
I don't know. That was a very fun series from what I remember.
I had problems with it, but it was cool. I didn't like her hair in that one. It was so
picky.
Yeah.
I love the that particular era of X-Men costumes, the McKelvey designed ones. Oh, I thought they were great.
Hopeless and Ibanez.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Wow.
It was Victor Ibanez. Yep. It's good stuff.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I do like that. Thank you, Chill, for that comment, spurring our opportunity to talk about those tie-ins. Now, Tyler.
Oh yeah, that's the thing we're doing. Yeah. Just let me know when.
Oh, Oh yeah, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking
Oh,
about
okay.
something else.
Okay.
So remember the other day how you said that you wanted to play a game, or that it was cool that you'd be able to play a game?
Yeah, I like playing games.
Want to play a game?
You got games on your phone? Yeah, I want to play. Yeah.
Snake.
I have a game on my phone that I need to fucking delete. Marvel Strike Force. I got to stop playing that.
Oh,
damn
dude,
game.
that's a good game.
It's just so.
It's monetized.
It's just so addicting.
I just kicked my cat
Shenron's
by
in the
accident.
chat. If you wish it on the Dragon Balls, he'll take care of it.
Hey, what's up, Shenron? Listen, if I get a wish from Shenron, I'm running that wish up. Trust me. I'm
it's gotta
getting
be
the
that one.
most. I'm
You know what
getting
I'm
no.
doing? I know exactly what I wish for.
Go ahead.
Let's revive Chaozu.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. Yeah,
nailed
like,
it. Yep.
they suck so bad.
It's a
Like
great use.
you could wish for peace on Earth. You know, like you could wish for like
Bring
$1
back my
million.
bald friend.
Yeah, let's bring back Chaozu. My man Chaozu is permadead in Dragon Ball because they brought him back enough that he can't come back anymore. Let that man lie. Leave him alone. He can't hack it in this world.
Chaozu's death in like the first arc of Dragon Ball Z is fucking hilarious.
Oh my god. Who else is permadead? I'm trying to think. Is Tien dead?
Yo, don't mess with my boy Tien.
My man Tien.
Starring
Oh my
character in
God.
Dragon Ball, and then he's a chump in Dragon Ball Z.
Yo,
Yeah.
he's the best in Dragon Ball.
He's great.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody thinks of the Ginyu Force as like the job squad of Dragon Ball. And by job squad, it's a wrestling term. The people that do the job when you lose.
Yeah, like CM Punk.
Yeah. Wow. I think that the Z Fighters are the job squad. At least that initial crew. Tien, Yamcha, Chaozu, and I'm gonna throw Krillin in there.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
They're jobbers.
Yeah.
They all suck. If those were my friends, if I was Goku and Vegeta and Nappa were coming to Earth and I'm dead and I know my friends have to hold it down until I come back, I'm not hopeful. I'm not.
Sean,
I'm
you should maybe
scared.
throw some Toriyama Dragon Ball Z onto our next book club poll. That could be interesting.
It's gonna be good.
I've never read it.
Catherine says, give them more credit. They got
Yeah, no, sorry. They got spirit.
They got
That's true.
spirit.
That's true. They have spirit. Actually, no, they don't have spirit.
No, it's Goku takes
All they
over his
are
bond.
spirits because all the motherfuckers are dead. Gone. Oh man. All right, but I wanted to play a game.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna bring back the game that we played a few months ago where oh shit, I guess I forgot. I had to prep you for this. I forgot. I wanted to play, if you have it on hand, we can do it. The game where we pick two characters and you have to tell a story with them.
The wheel?
Yes.
No, there's some prep involved.
Son of a
If
bitch.
you want to vamp, I might be able to do it.
You know what? It's all right. We'll bring it back next week. I forgot that there's that's not just a thing that's on hand.
You can just slap that on.
Yeah,
I
don't
wasn't
even know if
ready.
it's in my bookmarks.
I thought it would be fun. But I have something else we'll do. That's fine.
You
So
gonna play that Green Lantern game.
we're not going to get the green light. Tyler did not give me the green light to play that game. What we're going to do instead is in honor of Spider-Man's 60th anniversary. Can you believe that? 60th. Yes.
He looks good.
Yeah, right?
I didn't even realize this, but Spider-Man Day is August 1st.
Oh, he has a day now too.
Yeah. August 1st. So in honor of that, I'm going to share with you guys my top 5 Spider-Man moments.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to tell you my top 5, and you guys tell me if it sucks. All right?
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. So, number 5 is Spider-Man versus Juggernaut. So, this is from Amazing Spider-Man number 230 from 1982. Roger Stern did the writing on this one. Romita Jr. art. Now, this is, I think, one of the most classic fights in all of comics history. And I think it's an important moment for Spider-Man. So the basic idea, and maybe you've seen this fight play out on Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. They do they kind of replicate this fight. Spider-Man versus the Juggernaut fighting, and Spider-Man ends up catching Juggernaut in cement. But the point of the fight is that Juggernaut is unstoppable, and Spider-Man can't beat Juggernaut with his fists. In the comics version, he has to save Madam Web from Juggernaut, and it's this incredible fight that plays out over 2 issues where Spider-Man tries literally everything he can. He webs Juggernaut, he breaks out of that. He webs buildings to trap Juggernaut, and Juggernaut just walks through them. And this is where like some of these classic creators were just so brilliant. The idea of Juggernaut just walking, not caring that Spider-Man is doing this, just walking through it, busting out of the webs, breaking through those buildings, smashing, throwing Spider-Man through walls. It's just a crazy fight. And Spider-Man has to use his intelligence, not his fists, to ultimately trap Juggernaut in cement and beat him. It's pretty cool.
I always thought it's funny how Juggernaut's most iconic moment in comics is not an X-Men comic.
Right? Yeah. Okay, so you would agree this is a big moment.
I agree it's a big Spider-Man moment. Top 5, I'll have to look at the list as a whole.
All right.
But it is
All right.
like top Juggernaut moment. I'll give it that.
I like it. I consider it a top Spider-Man moment because Spider-Man was as unstoppable as Juggernaut because he wouldn't give up. And I feel like that's an iconic thing about him. And I just love the way they showcase that. The next one is the death of Gwen Stacy.
Oh.
That's that low.
It's for me. This is my list. Now, you guys will tell me if I'm wrong. So this is from Amazing Spider-Man 121, 1973, Jerry Conway, Gil Kane. Everybody knows the story here. I don't need to really dive into it too much. Spider-Man and Green Goblin at war with each other, and Green Goblin makes a play to attempt to kill Gwen Stacy. Spider-Man tries to save her. We all know the web misses, and he loses his first great love. It's an iconic moment. You know, this is Spider-Man's big pain. You know, what motivates him to be Spider-Man is the death of Uncle Ben, but the tragedy that kind of looms over him is his inability to save Gwen. To some degree, that still impacts him to this day. They just solicited a comic with Gwen Stacy's return. You know, so that's always at play.
Isn't it like a Judgment Day tie-in?
It could be. I don't remember if
It's
it was
judging Peter Parker or something like that.
Oh, that's
I might have
interesting.
misread that. I read it through like tweets, so I could be wrong.
Yeah, Kefis said that the Juggernaut versus Spider-Man stuff was awesome. Yeah, dude,
That bottom panel in particular, yeah.
I love it. Yeah, that's so iconic. Spider-Man bouncing around like that, love it. So number 3 is Spider-Man rises from the grave from Kraven's Last Hunt.
Oh.
So this is, of course, from J.M. DeMatteis and Mike Zeck, Kraven's Last Hunt. This is, you know, one of the, if not the greatest Spider-Man stories of all time. And if I remember correctly, the whole like book was building towards deliberately, because I think they had done something similar with Batman that Mattis had, was to have Spider-Man rising from that grave. And he's got the black suit, I think, or maybe he rises. Yeah, he's got the
I have it
black
on the
suit,
screen. Yep.
and he comes out of the grave, and it's just such an awesome moment. And Spider-Man was like in a dark place in his mind, so seeing him kind of come out of that was like symbolism for him coming out of his pain and everything that he was going through at that time. So classic stuff. I love that moment. It's a fantastic piece of, one of the greatest comic stories ever. How are we doing so far?
I have questions
I-
so far.
Yeah,
All right.
I have problems.
Okay, that's all right. Listen, we all have problems.
Okay,
how
problems
it's-
with this.
It's how we solve them that matter. Spider-Man Unmasking from Civil War, #2, 2006, Mark Millar, Steve McNiven. Now, I wholeheartedly accept the fact that it is possible that my bias for Civil War put this higher on my list than maybe it would be on yours. However, I will never forget the moment that I saw that page. It was something that was new to me. I don't think Spider-Man had ever publicly unmasked. I'm pretty sure that was the first time.
It was a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big deal. It's something that it doesn't resonate in the comics anymore. They took that away. But it was such a big deal to me at the time. I couldn't believe they did it. I remember it was all over the news, and it felt cool to be a comics fan. Up until that point, it had always felt like that thing that I was into that no one else cared about. But then when Spider-Man took his mask off and I saw it on television and in the newspapers, I was like, holy shit, people care about this. This matters. And I'll never forget it. So that's why it's there for me.
I gotta say, I want to be on the Steve McNiven skincare line. Like,
Come on, man.
Peter looking good.
He is the man.
He's
He is the
smooth.
man.
Smooth, buttery face.
I wish they'd get him back for another event. And then who colored him here? It was
Ponzer?
was it?
I don't think I know
remember. I should know it. And the Dexter Vines, I think he did the inks on this. Yeah, man, so good, beautiful art.
Yeah, Dexter Vines is the inker, colorist Maury Hollowell.
Okay, great. They did a great job. All of them. They did a fantastic job. My #1 moment.
Can we
Spider-Man.
have Marco or Cal try to guess?
Sure.
Breaking out of the rubble.
Okay. Kale,
#1 moment?
#1 Spider-Man moment.
Number 1.
Tyler, you watch. Go ahead, Kale.
I was gonna say I don't think it's this. The other thing that makes sense to me is Uncle Ben.
See, I was gonna go between something where Spider-Man is like breaking out of something, or something related to Mary Jane. I can't think of anything big though.
Well, Marco, you were right the first time. It's when
Yes!
Spider-Man raised the roof, when Spider-Man pumped it up
Yeah.
and broke out from underneath the rubble. That has to be, if that's not the most iconic Spider-Man panel, it's got to be top 3. From Amazing Spider-Man #33, 1966, not 96, 1966. Stan Lee, Steve Ditko. Just unbelievable work on Steve Ditko's part. When
I
you
agree with
talk
this.
about an artist just putting their stamp on a character and on a moment, Spider-Man's defeated by Doc Ock. We've never seen Spider-Man take an L this big. And it wasn't just in this comic book. It was the master planner. It was all this big build up to this fight. And Spider-Man just straight up loses and has to will himself out from underneath this building that's falling apart, or he'll just die. And he sees his aunt and uncle, and he sees them and he's thinking about how he needs to get out of this, and that panel work, man, when it's just you can see Spider-Man slowly but surely pulling himself out of it, breaking out. Some of the greatest work ever in comics.
I agree with this top. This is good.
He really put his dick cussy into this one.
Tyler?
I think that's how he would describe it too.
Okay,
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
that.
There are three. I would say the ones I would replace are probably your bottom two. The Juggernaut.
You would not have them.
I would not have them in a top 5.
You would not have the Gwen Stacy.
No,
death.
your bottom 2 were. Oh, sorry. No, I meant. I would put Gwen Stacy probably 3.
Okay.
I would remove
Minimum.
The Last Hunt and Juggernaut.
Okay. What would you
Maybe
replace
top
them
10. Iconically for me, Secret Wars when he gets the black suit is a big deal. It's like an iconic image to me. He had never gotten like a suit like that before. It was like a fan made suit too, and they fucking gypped the guy on his pay. That another one that jumps out to me honestly. And I
Okay,
know
no
it's
one cares. This is my list, Tyler.
What,
No, I'm just kidding.
The other way, it's like Superior Spider-Man. It's
I think
gotten
Superior
up there
would make
for
mine.
me.
Yeah.
Superior's
Are
gotten
you
up there for me.
nuts?
He dies.
Monumental.
Yeah. Now, and it's not only that he dies, like he's defeated.
Yeah. And then this might piss you guys off. But One More Day, I think,
See,
is top 5 for me.
top 5 Spider-Man moment. You guys say one more day, not Spider-Man rising out of the grave. You lost all credibility.
I think it's a very iconic moment. For better or
To
for
who?
worse. Just the public consciousness. Like when he's kicking Kingpin's ass, like he breaks his rules there.
But that's not a moment. What's the moment? Or that is a moment, but what moment are you talking about? Is that the moment you're saying is top 5? That moment?
I guess it would be the Mephisto meeting for me.
Wow. A talk with Mephisto.
Iconic.
A talk with Mephisto.
Look at the emotion it's bringing out of you, Sean. I think
You need
I
to be
might onto
stopped.
something.
Listen, you need to be stopped.
I'm the juggernaut of Spider-Man takes. Can't be stopped.
Wow. Kel, did you want to do your feedback before we move forward?
I think. Oh, hey, what's up, Still? Thanks for showing
Hey.
up
Yeah.
despite your family. I think Aunt May dying after Civil War.
Oh,
I think that would be a huge one.
They undid it, man, so fast.
I mean, listen, this comics, baby. They undid his identity too.
But the death of Aunt May lasted like a cup of coffee. My man put a black suit on, and then all was well.
They can't help that.
Peter put on the black Air Forces of superhero costumes. Just became a menace to the streets of New York.
Oh my god! All right.
I think like another one is like the suit in the trash can, probably a big one.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
I was also thinking of he tries to join the Fantastic Four.
Yes.
decent, or the Mary Jane. You just hit the jackpot, Tiger, sort of
Yes.
thing. I guess it's maybe a Mary Jane
Okay.
moment.
Yes. Yes.
Moreland, the
Killmonger
first
th-
Moreland fight.
Right. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not gonna agree. I'm not gonna agree with Moreland.
The first
Killmonger
one.
throws
the first
up.
one.
Threw up the Ultimate Fallout number 4. I mean, I guess we're talking Spider-Man. Miles' first appearances. Unless
Yes,
it's
that
specifically
too.
a Peter thing.
I wanted to keep it to Peter.
You really whitewashed this Spider-Man list, Sean.
What do you want me to do? Peter Parker's a white male.
Really?
Yeah.
Remember the time he was in court? He yells out, "I'm black."
What?
What the hell are you
It's
saying?
funny.
There's a scene where he's in a courtroom and they're interrogating him, and I forget the context of it, but the question he basically replies with, "Well, you see, it's because I'm black," and the whole courtroom like stops for a second.
He's against Jameson is why
Oh,
that's relevant.
yeah, right, yeah.
And Jameson's like, "Oh, I swear I didn't know," and the courtroom, is aghast. But
Oh,
Peter's like,
this is from She-Hulk.
"Is it?"
I'm looking at the panel right now. It's pretty good. Yeah,
I've never seen that. That's
it's
Wow.
true though. They'd have no idea.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
he-
never knew Peter Parker played the black card. That's good. It's good stuff.
that's insane. I can't even believe what I just heard. That's a real Marvel Comics published comic
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where Spider-Man says I'm black
Yep.
She-Hulk
To get
Volume
out
1, number
of-
4.
to get out of court.
Well, then he says,
No,
"I'm kidding.
no, no,
I'm
no.
kidding."
Yeah, it wasn't that. He was in court, and I don't know what the context is, but he's sort of testifying against J. Jonah Jameson. Like the question is, why do you think Jameson has it out for you?
Like, why does he hate you?
I
Yeah.
just pasted the panel in the chat there.
Oh my god.
Pretty good. Is this Dan Slott doing that? I guess that was Dan Slott.
Surely Charles Sewell wouldn't do something like that.
No, this isn't a Charles Soule thing. Maybe John. It might be a John Bernard sort of thing.
That's comics.
Too new for me.
It's She-Hulk number 4. I don't know who's on it.
Is this the first time Dan Slott wrote Spider-Man? Just a little hint at what we'd
Dan
we'd
Slott
get.
just can't stop fucking retconning Spider-Man. He made him black. He killed him and made Doc Ock take over. Jesus. Come on now. Chill says Peter dated Carol Danvers. Gwen who?
Yeah, baby.
I don't know, man. Carol
Yeah,
Danvers.
Peter's got a body count. He's dating
Bit of
Black Cat. There was Mockingbird for a bit too. You
That
think him
was-
and Hawkeye ever talk
was
about that?
weird. No.
No.
Why would they?
Well, like they have like
I
Hawkeye
would
maybe has a
not wanna-
grudge against him.
Yeah, I would not want to talk to the person who dated my wife.
Yeah, I'm
Also,
comfortable.
like in terms of
No,
talking
power
thank you.
set, Spider-Man's got much more power than Clint.
No, Tyler, from
Yeah,
experience,
he
not a good
does.
conversation.
Okay, yeah, true. All right, got it.
Look, I'm here for Carol Danvers. Carol Danvers is awesome. But Gwen Stacy.
She's dead. She's dead, Jim.
All right. Yeah, now. But
And
hey,
also, Carol Danvers belongs to Spider Woman. Like he can.
That's
What do
true.
you do?
Yeah.
is that a thing?
The canon.
It should be.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
When we get
that
into
it?
headcanon space, that's when I have to move on. So let's jump into the news. This was a huge week, another huge week for Warner Brothers Discovery. The hits just keep coming. The Hollywood Reporter is eating. They are eating off of DCEU news. Like Warner Brothers Discovery is keeping the lights on for the Hollywood Reporter. Because every week there's a new major expose that drops on Friday that just is a tornado that shakes up everything. So, what did we learn this week from Boris Kitt and Aaron Couch over at Hollywood Reporter? Well, we learned several things. One of them is that, and this had me dying. If you can believe this, Aquaman and Shazam have been delayed again.
Womp womp.
Yeah, I believe that.
But when you get it, go ahead.
So wait, for reshoots then probably, right?
No, I
No.
think it's for money, right? It's for money, Sean.
So, okay. So, this is what's in the article. I'll say what's in the article first. So, in the article, they say that they're talking about the Flash, and they say that David Zaslav is not wavering on the release date, even as Warner's this week pushed Shazam: Fury of the Gods out of 2022 and Aquaman 2 back from March 2023 to Christmas of that year.
Damn.
In parentheses, they say Aquaman's push was due to the long runway need to complete the intensive and complex visual effects, while Shazam departed a date that was a week away from Juggernaut Avatar: The Way of Water. That's
Come
what it
on.
says. That's what it says.
Zaslav, you coward.
However, it's been floating around since the Shazam delay, since the Aquaman 2 delay, that Warner couldn't afford to put out more movies than Black Adam and another movie that I can't
It was
recall.
Don't Worry, Darling, the new
Thank
Olivia Wilde movie with
I knew
Harry
you would
Styles. Yeah. Oh, there's drama around that movie. I love that drama. Oof.
I wish that was for this podcast. I love movie drama,
It's
but
it's a menage a trois. There's a love triangle going on. Yeah.
whoa, behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. Yep. Yep.
Maybe that should
With
be for
with
this
your
podcast.
director and your two main stars.
Whoa,
Florence Pugh was refusing to do press for this movie because of possibly somebody having some fun with Harry Styles behind the scenes. Olivia Wilde.
Is she with Harry Styles? Is that
She was.
Oh,
She was with Zach Braff originally, which was like Florence Pugh and Zach Braff being a couple was like average dudes loved that shit. They're like, all right, there's hope
have
for
a
me
shot.
out there. Yeah,
We're
exactly.
winning.
But Harry Styles was with Olivia Wilde.
Yeah, so there I forget the exact who was with who, but yeah, there was apparently Harry Styles might have been with more than one person.
Oh, well, that's
Living the life.
juicy.
Florence
Love
Pugh is
that.
only promoting Oppenheimer, which comes out in a year. So
Huh.
So yeah, so believe what you want. That's the rumor that these movies were delayed due to funds, which makes a lot of sense. Warner reported a loss of what was it, 20 billion, something like that.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah,
But what do you mean they can't afford to put out a movie?
they
like
couldn't
press and all that.
afford financially what it would cost to do the promotion and do everything that comes with getting that movie out into theaters.
They can't ship all those USB drives to the theaters anymore.
It also depends on fiscal years too. Like I'm sure they could afford it, but like you want to make sure your fiscal year looks good for all the reports because
Sure.
that's all that fucking business is at this point.
Okay.
But
The numbers are shiny.
It's also not absolutely crazy to me that these movies needed to be delayed for the reasons that Hollywood Reporter says.
the Avatar makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Why would you want to put out a movie against Avatar? That's unwise. So, yeah,
Is it?
I think so.
Yeah. That's a
People
big-ass movie.
people always shit on Avatar, but the movie is one of the biggest movies of all time by far, and I think that this next one is going to be massive.
Dude,
Yeah?
I plan on going to
Yeah.
the 4K HDR re-release. They actually took off
Nice.
Disney Plus temporarily to release it in theaters. So
I'm
I
definitely
maintain
gonna go see
visually
this.
that movie is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Story-wise, it's Pocahontas, but
It's the only movie I've ever seen in 3D that I thought looked like the 3D was like awesome.
I've seen it in like at-home 3D too. With like, remember when that was a thing? Still
They
good.
tried that, yeah. Wow. Okay, so we got those delays, but it gets worse because
WB?
yeah. We also learned this week that Ezra Miller is trying to push forward with their face turn. So last week we discussed that Ezra had put out a statement in which they talked about how they were, sorry for, the upset that they caused, and the worry that they caused. Didn't reference any of the crimes committed, but be that as it may. We also learned that Ezra had taken part in several reshoots. Well, we learn now from Hollywood Reporter that there was a meeting this past Wednesday between Ezra Miller, their representation, Scott Metzger from CAA, and executives from Warner, because Ezra learned through their representation that Warner had on the table scrapping the Flash, that it was being seriously considered. $200 billion or $200 million movie.
I don't think
I-
that was ever really truly considered.
Well,
That's
what?
like
I didn't know I was doing crimes.
that last one felt like, if that's the reason that Ezra's having this, trying to have this face turn, I think that's like some kind of misinformation there, because like there's no way that they were going to be scrapping this movie at this point.
I think it's been very close a couple times.
What?
'Cause it's only escalated.
It's only escalated, but do you think to the extent that they would not put this movie out, considering how connected it is to everything else, like how pivotal this movie is, it would be more of a detriment to not put it out than it would be to just keep it and take the hits in terms of backlash.
I think with something this nuclear, it has to be on the table, whether or not it actually happens. You got to talk about it, right?
And you got to threaten it too a bit. You know what I mean?
And I think that it's possible that this was a lure. You know, maybe that leaking last week was intentional to see if that would draw Ezra out. And it worked, because this meeting took place. And apparently Ezra was freaked out because Ezra wants to be Flash and wants this movie to come out.
We can't be a hero and a villain at the same time.
You can't, exactly. And so, you know, David Zaslav keeps doubling down. Ezra better tidy up. But what if Ezra's in prison when this movie comes out? Like, that's a possibility.
Well, then the Flash will have to find out who framed them and get them out.
What if all this is to find Ezra? The cops have been chasing them for months.
No, what if
Zaslav is like, no, I got it. Y'all just come into the office. I'll call him. Don't worry.
What if this was all weird guerrilla marketing?
I could see it.
Tyler, that is probably the wildest theory I've ever heard, at least this year. And I really like it. It's not crazier than the frogs gay thing, but this is up there, and I love shit like that.
Fluoride in the water, turn the frogs gay.
I think
That's a pretty good Alex Jones.
I've worked on it.
I think this is a conspiracy on part of Reverse Flash, who's been trying to ruin Ezra's life for being the Flash.
Listen, we've done all this.
Fair enough.
Let's get into. Let's get into the real world conspiracy. We've done the Flash parts. We've done that. Let's keep going with what Tyler's saying.
I think Ezra is actually a suit worn by three little smaller people,
Okay.
insectoid people, and masquerading as what they think a person may be.
Now, I don't want to be this person. I think that means we have to be careful with the pronoun situation.
Well, it works in either way now. People always complaining
I
about,
think that
it's
might
only
be the
used
problem.
for plural, only be used for plural. Well, here's your answer. There you go.
Okay, so I have to break up the fun, because what I'm about to say is the coup de grace.
Oh, the Finn Balor finisher.
This is the thing that I did not expect to read this week. By far.
It got him.
Okay, you ready for this? At the end of the Hollywood Reporter article, they say the following, quote, and this is in reference to The Flash. Still, it has been receiving some of the highest scores at test screenings since Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight movies. And execs and creatives believe they have a critical and box office hit on their hands that lives up to those scores.
I can see it.
So
I thought what you were going to say is DC is fucked.
I mean, they kind of are. If the movie's that damn good, but the lead actor is a terrorist, there is an issue that arises that you have to resolve.
It's like,
and it might be in the hands of the authorities and not WB Discovery shortly.
WB has their cure for cancer in the hands of a madman. Like,
Kefis says lies from marketing. Don't believe anything from WB on this.
I'm not sure I
Kefis,
believe the Hollywood Reporter. I think you're right, Sean. I think they leaked this on purpose.
Kefis's nose is on point. Remember what I have said in the past about articles that are written with influence from executives. This is not abnormal. That happens. Just like last week, it could have been a ploy to draw out Ezra. This could be putting it in our minds like, hey, don't you want to see this really great Flash movie? It's like The Dark Knight. People really love it. Come on.
That Zack Snyder guy, he's kind of shitty, huh?
Yeah.
Frankly, this is the kind of shit that works on me. He's like, oh, it's a good movie, got good test screenings. You know what? Maybe I will see it. Who cares if Ezra's a piece of shit?
You like seeing the numbers. You want to see some numbers and some spreadsheets.
Listen,
yeah, exactly.
Forget the bullets, forget the kids. Flash.
Sean
Don't you want to see the
quoted,
guy in the
"Fuck
red
them
suit?"
kids."
Yeah.
The only 45s we're talking about is not on Rotten Tomatoes, but of bullets.
Wow. Yeah, so unbelievable stuff there. Unbelievable. I don't think there's any reality to the fact that it's testing. Like, as well as the Nolan trilogy, which one? Because I don't know how well Rise is tested.
The whole trilogy on average.
That's probably extremely good. I don't know what Rise is tested like, but to evoke that name, that's very wild to me, and I feel like they're just fishing.
Yeah, that shit was stretchier than Mr. Fantastic.
Wrong universe, Marco.
Sorry. Who's the plastic guy? Mr. Plastic?
Yeah, Mr.
Oh
Yeah, you
my
got it.
god, Mr. Plastic.
You got it.
No, you got it. 100%.
Almost
Wow.
there.
Yeah, Sylv, I agree. A distraction technique to pivot the conversation. I mean, look, it's all so unbelievably tidy and orchestrated now. It's clear that everybody came together, and now this is the redemption arc, and they're gonna get Ezra back to where they need to get them in order to make this movie happen. I think that's all we're looking at. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if people get paid off to keep quiet about further allegations. I wouldn't be surprised if Warner Brothers has a piece of their budget dedicated to this shit.
Oh, guaranteed.
The Vince McMahon account.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The McMahon Gambit.
Yeah.
That's what I think we're seeing here. But on the other side of that, it appears that Warner Discovery may have found their Kevin Feige.
Is it Kevin Feige?
No.
Nope.
Go ahead.
To me?
No, sadly.
Oh, thank God.
Is it Tyler?
No.
Fuck.
No. It's not me either.
It's probably
But-
the guy I've had this on the screen for the past 30 seconds.
Oh.
I only just saw it.
It is Dan Lin. Does that name ring a bell?
Yeah?
Yeah, who is he? Don't
He's
read the
this-
article.
He's this guy. Hey, hold on a second. Oh, wait, easy. How you gonna call me out like that?
Right. So Dan Lin is okay. Dan Lin is an executive producer. He did the Lego movie, the It movies, Godzilla, the King of Monsters.
Oh.
Lin is a favorite of Alan Horn, who we recently discussed had made his return to Warner Brothers Discovery. But the reason he's got the chops in terms of executive producing, but the reason that he is in the conversation is because of this. So he worked on the, correct me if I'm wrong, George Miller, uh, Justice League Mortal? Does that sound like a
That was the
thing,
thing that
you
never
guys?
came to fruition, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
the movie that never ended up coming out.
That sounds like a movie I'd want to see too. Yeah.
I thought he was on Superman.
Maybe it was Superman, but I thought it was just it's
There
I
was a
think it's
Justice
Justice
League.
League
Yeah. Yeah.
Mortal.
Okay. It's the
Yeah.
first I've
George
heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, George Miller was attached with producer Dan Lin. So uh Justice League Mortal is a fame. I've wanted to do a main topic about this for a while. Um Mostly to educate myself because this is a very
Yeah.
famous story about a Justice League movie that was very, very, very close to being made and then stopped nearly at the last minute. I think I forget what the factors were. The writer's strike. There were some factors in play that prevented this from happening. We'll have to do a main topic on it one day. But for
Yeah.
this conversation, Dan Lin was an executive producer working with George Miller on that project. He has a deep love of comics. He
Okay.
is essentially in house. It looks like he's going to be the guy,
I mean, you sold me on he has a deep love for comics. Like,
right?
you're
Well,
muted, Marco.
yeah.
Is that all it takes?
Yeah. They got
What?
fucking
Yeah.
David Goyer over here saying the Martian Manhunter doesn't make sense because he's the wrong shade of green or some shit, and She-Hulk should go down on her cousin or some shit. Like
The
that
fuck?
guy sucks, and he's been in charge of DC for too long.
I like this because what is Kevin Feige is a unique individual, and I don't want to take away from the mind of Kevin Feige, right? But if you go all the way back to the origins of Feige, you have a comic book fan
Mhm.
who worked his way up the ranks and was a producer on comic book films.
And,
That's it.
and
That's
I'm
all we're
looking at
talking about.
I'm looking at the purported idea of what Justice League Mortal was going to be on, which is what Dan Lin worked on. Apparently, an adaptation of Tower of Babel, which was interesting.
Okay.
And it had both Flashes in it. Apparently there was a cast too. Did you see this, Sean?
Yeah, I don't want to get into it.
I know, because there's a cannibal on the cast too.
It's just there's a lot of stuff
Okay.
there, and it's
All right.
a long story.
I know about that.
What? Yeah, I was kind of rooting for the Brillianti, like joining the charge there. Like, no, you don't think? Like he has the universe in the TV series, and now it's just a matter of leveling up the budgets and leveling up the scope there. I feel like that would have worked well.
I would never accept it.
What?
The stink of the CW is too strong. The stink. Have you ever gone to Yankee Stadium? Have you ever gone to a game?
Okay.
All right. So if you know how you like sometimes you have to park far away, that walk that you take to Yankee Stadium and you go through like that area of the Bronx, that stench that exists in the summertime heat is what I smell when I think about the CW Arrowverse.
You're not in their demographic of 58-year-olds.
Yeah, you're right. I would never be able to accept. I think Berlanti's talented, but I just can't get past that.
All right. Stain there.
I think this is as good a shot as they're gonna get if they're looking for an individual person who has executive producing credits on big budget films that also has a love for comics. That's hard to find. I don't know if Greg Berlanti has that type of credit on big budget films. Shows, yes. But you have to know film.
Yeah. That's fair. All right. I think if it is, I'm looking for a cohesiveness, right? So regardless of who it is, let's say they're calling Dan Lin and they're saying we're gonna bank on this guy. What I need to hear now from him is, this is my plan for the future. These are my phases, for lack of a better term, right? Like I need to understand what you're gonna promise, what you're gonna stick to, and then unfortunately, how are you going to push back against WB? Because that's going to be the big thing is how do you push back against leadership that's probably going to mandate something from you?
I see. I think that's what they've been doing. I think that's what's got them here in the first place. They need to make a film in the spirit of the character they're doing, Iron Man, for example, and build up. You know, they're going to have to accept that there's a potential for them to not make as much so that they can build up to, the $1 billion Justice League movie.
Sure.
And I think the problem is that they are in a position where they need money now. And I'm worried that motivation will lead to decisions that aren't good, quite frankly.
And that's why I want to see pushback on Lynn's part. If he is the person who's chosen, I want to see.
Come on.
Well, but I mean, like to the extent that like a Feige would try to, or to the extent that there would be other creators there that'd be like, hey, actually, no, I need to draw a line somewhere for the sake of that creative output.
So, okay. To your earlier point about needing to see a plan, I want to just hit that real fast. I don't want to see any kind of plan at least a year before they should not talk about these films anymore.
Yep.
At least a year from now. Get all the movies you have done, get them out. Whatever it is, I don't care. Blue Beetle, get all that done. And then we can talk about a plan. But if 6 months from now, let's say this is officially announced next week.
Yeah.
And then 6 months from now, we hear that there's this grand plan, that shit's going to suck. You know why? Because there was no grand plan announcement for the MCU. Not up front. It wasn't even an MCU. It was a movie.
Yep.
And I think Kale's right. You're going to do something, build it delicately, build it deliberately, build it to last. I'm fine with Zaslav saying 10-year plan because that's ambiguous. Whatever. Work on that now, and then in a year or a year and a half, we've got a plan. The first movie is this. Stay tuned. Okay.
Or you have to swing big and make sure it's got the legs it needs. I have always said they should have started with Justice League to counter what Marvel did in building the Avengers, because everybody knows the Justice League, and they should spread out from there.
I share the exact same sentiment. It makes no sense why you would need to even do the origins of these characters. Like, the only reason they had to make Man of Steel is because it was a different Superman, in the sense that it wasn't like a one-to-one representation of what everyone already knows.
Yeah. Superman that kills.
Whatever. Right. If it was just like the traditional Superman that we all understand, who cares what his, like, we know his origin. Ma, Pa, Kent, spaceship, we get it. So yeah, I'm with that. Make a Justice League movie. I don't care.
But it's gotta have legs. It's gotta have the foundation it needs to build off of.
Yeah. Agreed. Whenever they make the announcement, if Dan Lin is going to be the guy, we'll talk about it again. I'm excited at the prospect. This is the best prospect I've ever heard for this particular position. So we'll see.
Also, the dude's fit, fantastic. So that's why I'm down with it.
Very casual.
Dude dressed like he's in a Miami Vice fan club or something. It's great.
Wow. Next up, we're still in Warner territory somehow. Batgirl, the canceled film that we can't seem to stop talking about, got a secret screenings on the Warner Brothers lot, I believe. They're letting cast and crew watch it before they lock it up in the vault.
Before they toss into a fire.
that same vault where they keep, you know how Disney would always say like, oh, you better go buy the Aladdin DVD before we lock it in the vault forever.
That's right.
It's the third.
Fantasia's back there.
Yeah.
No, it's on Disney Plus now. The vault doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Well,
oh,
they're
it's the 11th anniversary of Lady and the Tramp. You know.
Right. This movie will leak.
You think?
I don't think so. Didn't the directors just come out and say like the CG was not nearly finished?
Yeah. They're screening. I'm not saying a completed version will leak.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying whatever it is that these people are
handy-cam
watching,
footage.
that's going to leak. Somehow, someone's going to be a champion. Someone's going to record it. I don't care if it's handy cam. I don't care if it's a drone. Somebody's going to get footage and we're going to see it.
Can I? Maybe it's hot take. I don't care.
I don't care either. I do not care. I just think it's weird.
It's like post-mortem screen. It's like a funeral, really.
Why would you want to see that?
It's like the whole cast and crew just crying while it plays.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Yeah.
It seems like, I don't mean this in a bad way. It just seems a little overly dramatic.
Look, that's the story that's at play. That, you know, I mean, everybody's kind of making this a thing. I feel like it's business, you know, to be honest, and that's why we talked about when the creative intersects with, you know, the content, when the creative intersects with business. It sucks, you know, for the people involved. They don't feel good, I'm sure, but it's business. This is what happens. They got paid. Well, I don't know, like. I want to know if watching this makes those individuals feel better. No judgment if it does. It's you know, it's your life. You're the ones that worked hard on it. I didn't. So my opinion certainly doesn't matter. But I want to know if it feels good. I can't imagine how it could.
Wouldn't the creative satisfaction come from others viewing it? Like, if
Or
I'm just
viewing
seeing
what
the
you
corpse
did.
of my creative glory. I don't know if I want
Or
to see
viewing
that.
what you did in a completed fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
A,
Yeah.
a lot of times you film scenes and you don't even know what the hell just happened.
Yep.
With all that CG you watch. I watched a clip of something being made. That shit looked insane. The background was unbelievable, and they were shooting it in front of a green screen, and the person looked like they were doing all this stuff. They were doing nothing. It's unbelievable. So it's just hard for me to imagine how a movie that was so far away from being done could be something that you could get pleasure out of watching. But that's just me.
I think you can. You guys know Lovecraft Country?
Yeah.
HBO. So one of my previous agencies, we were gonna run a promotion for them. They showed us the first episode before it was like had CGI. So there were moments where we were watching full film, and then the CGI came on, and it was just like drawings. It was basically storyboard moments where like, and this is where the monster comes in, and then this is where this happens, and it's just like markers and shit, and then it cuts back to like live action because the CG wasn't done. I had a laugh. That was hilarious.
Did you work on that?
The movie itself, I ended up working on the promotion for it, but
But you were not a part of the production of it, is what I'm getting.
I wasn't.
Uh-huh.
Still fun.
For you, I don't think Leslie Grace, you know, needs to see the shit version of her fight with Firefly, where it's got no camera cuts, so it's just like
No fire.
no fun.
his whole shtick is gone.
He's just like, his hands just sticking
Yeah.
out. She's like dodging nothing.
Where do you think the CGI was going to come from?
But if you're saying I need to watch Brendan Fraser act like there's fire,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm back on.
I can see-
I'm back
yeah.
on.
All right. Let's get out of DC land because it's just a mess over there. Instead, let's talk about the reveal the Sinister secret that was revealed this week, in fact, by Marvel. Marvel, well, I don't know if you guys remember, we got the, I'm sure you guys remember, the listeners. I don't know if you guys remember last week, we got the teaser, the SOS teaser with the heart monitor thing, the heart rate monitor. It was looking bad. Thank you. Yes. Well, we now know what that was for. It's for an event called Sins of Sinister it's going to come out January 2023. They didn't give us a ton of information about it. We didn't really learn anything. What they did give us was the following: a new world, a new disaster. Mr. Sinister's plans come to fruition beyond his wildest dreams and his darkest nightmares. Can the X-Men survive the experience? Can anyone? Discover how twisted mutant kind becomes when Mr. Sinister achieves victory in Sins of Sinister, a new crossover coming to the X-Men. Now, what do you guys think that this will be about?
Moira.
Okay.
Clones.
I think it's about Sinister's tax evasion.
And his home on Krakoa gets raided.
Yep. He
No,
gets audited.
I think at this point it has to deal with the other, like the ramifications of the other clones, like what, because you can't kill them, because the moment you kill them you reset a universe or a timeline rather, and there you have to deal with that in some way. Like, what are you going to do with all of these other just Moiras?
I would say it's going to be on the other end of the Sinister spectrum, where there's two active Sinisters right now in X-Men comics. I don't know if you're keeping up with X-Men proper.
Like the square one and the triangle one or whatever.
There's one who is like Doctor something, who is with this new brother. I guess like a new brotherhood in a weird way. With like, I think like Trask is on there. It's Orcus. It includes MODOK, strangely, and Moira now. So
that's right.
There's like that evil Sinister that's doing his thing with all of our actual antagonists, and then we have our Sinister who's making clones of Moira. So this dude been busy. Both versions of this dude have been busy.
Dr. Stasis.
Yep.
And yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Who, by the way, claims to be the OG Sinister.
Yeah, there's that too. I always love that. Who was the original? Except when it comes to Spider-Man, because they flip-flop back and forth on that one. It's been annoying.
So I think I know exactly what this is. And I am not going to even pretend that this was my theory, because this is way out of my scope. But Bleeding Cool, they came through with a theory that I think cracks the code. So there was a list of Sinister secrets in Immortal X-Men #1.
That's right.
There is a theory that the Sinister secret, the answer, is hidden or is the subject of every single issue of Immortal X-Men. Here's an example. The first issue of Immortal X-Men, or the first Sinister secret, rather, is Scandal, which certain young lady is keeping private company with Mr. Sinister. I'm pretty sure the answer is Destiny. That's where we first learn that Destiny and Sinister have like a side situation going on.
Could it be Moira, because has the extra Moira clones? Didn't we learn that in that issue too?
That is also, that's also a very good guess. It's more likely that that's correct. Issue 2, the second one was, I'm not going to read them all, but I just want to get you guys on board with this. Does the fiery newcomer think that, quote, quiet council means, quote, one must use silencers on all your automatic weapons? The second issue was about Hope.
Okay, that makes sense. Yep.
So do you need more, or are we sold?
Third one was.
Third one was writer's block is a terrible thing. Rejoice, the muse is going
Oh,
to
it was
strike
the
someone who
Destiny
hasn't
one.
written a major work in over 100 years.
It was the Destiny
Destiny
one. Okay.
Mystery.
Yep. This is tracking.
Okay.
Okay.
So we talk. So is the last Sinister one what the?
How many questions were there?
There's 13.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, evil number.
So, number 10, Immortal
Number
X-Men
10.
number 10, or rather, the 10th Sinister Secret is finally someone who actually deserves it gets thrown in the pit. Good riddance.
Huh. There's only one person in the pit.
No, there's a lot of people in the pit.
Yeah,
Are
right.
there?
There's quite a few right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or did they break out? Yeah.
They're in the
think
throes
it
of breaking
didn't
out.
yet.
They'll
Okay,
have
yeah.
been broken out by that point. By the
Right.
time this comes out. So
The Sinister Secret for 11 is oh no. For 12, it's help, just help me. It stretches on, endless and cold. Infinity balloons and a scream is too big for my head. This is hell of my own making. Hell is other people. Hell is also me. 13 plus, everything is fine. And there is a cover that I don't remember for Inferno number 4 that shows Destiny, Mystique, and Professor Xavier watching Sinister be drawn into the pit by Krakoa. So, my theory is that at the end of AXC Judgment Day or in a subsequent issue of Immortal X-Men, Sinister gets thrown in the pit for what he did during Immortal X-Men. Or during AXC Judgment Day. And that Sins of Sinister is what is happening to him in the pit.
Oh, interesting.
it's him coming accustomed to hell. That's why it goes. Everything is fine because now he is. Okay.
He's good.
Or he's out, or he figures out a way to control his experience.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Sabretooth did.
Okay, you know what? I like that. If that's where we're going, I'm down. That's cool. Sins itself implies he's going down, right? I can see it. I fuck with it.
Yeah.
That's a sin.
Oh, well, there you go. We don't know the creative team yet, right?
We don't.
Okay.
We don't.
I'm
This-
assuming Gillen to some extent.
Probably. Yeah. Do you think this is instead of being an event? Do you think this will be just an arc?
I suspect it will be a separate thing.
Like a
It's-
trial of Magneto sort of thing?
It's labeled as a crossover event, and it's got that January slot, which is where they put the Many Lives and Many Deaths of Wolverine.
Okay.
So I'm thinking they like that January spot for X-Men stuff. So I think this is going to be a crossover. Are you if what I just laid out is what it is that something you're into?
The Sinister stuff is something I'm into in general.
Yeah.
I just like the character, so yes for me.
I could take it or leave it.
Hmm.
We'll
Yeah.
have to see. I just can't. Since this Moira stuff, I've said this a few times. I've been checked out. I barely know what's happening in the X-Men land anymore.
I'm just like, I feel bad for them. The X-Men. They finally have this utopia, and they just want to like fucking eat and drink tiki drinks, and like
bang.
and yeah, it's just event after event after event with these guys. Like,
No breaks.
let them rest, man. Give me a Sunstone kind of X-Men story. Mr. and Mrs. X Volume 2. That's what I want.
We probably would have gotten something like that if Marvel wasn't owned by Disney.
You think if Marvel wasn't owned by Disney, X-Men would be fucking on panel?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
all right. I won't argue that.
remember, Jonathan Hickman and the other writers have alluded to the fact that there were certain things they weren't allowed to do when it comes to that stuff.
True.
They were told no by, the powers that be.
We'd at least have a swimsuit issue, that's for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Yo.
It'd be a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
like what the way that all went down implied a lot more sexy than we've gotten. It's been pretty sterile, for my money anyway.
Yeah, it's only ever been Jean with Cyclops or Jean with Wolverine. Never, I haven't seen
Wolverine with
Wolverine
Cyclops.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
It's implied.
And you won't.
No,
It's
a
implied. It's
shame.
heavily implied.
I don't think it is.
Oh, they're-
Get
they're
outta here,
very-
bro.
They're
We've
very
dealt with
handsy
this.
together.
Go
They're very
home.
handsy together.
Well, when?
He calls him slim. He ain't talking about his height.
All right. I think I'm with Kale on the take it or leave it for this particular idea.
Really?
Yes. So the reason is because while I'm intrigued by Sinister, I think that the antics have gotten so like it's been going on for a long time already. And it went from like he's playing the background, he's being really smart. House and Powers teased major things for Sinister, but it was all mysterious. And the more we know, the less interesting it is for me with Sinister.
Okay.
And it could be who's handling Sinister.
Sure.
But that's where I'm at right now. January.
Looking
Well,
forward to it.
Yeah. It'll be something. But if X Lives and X Deaths is anything to go by, that was pretty cool. I liked it.
I would say it was more on the cool side than I was a little iffy on some of the issues, but by the end of it, I was like, yeah, that was fun for what it was.
I had fun.
And it also like severely limited my X-Men reading because everything else was put on hold. So it was like, oh,
Right.
thank God I have a break.
There. All right. So before we get into our main topic, we've got one last thing to discuss, which is probably something that we'll learn for sure at D23, which is
2
beginning
weeks.
September 9th, I believe.
Yep. 2 weeks.
Yeah. Believe we have our Fantastic Four director.
Listen up, Kefis.
Yeah, Kefis. It looks like Matt Shackman.
I hear it as Shackman, and I hear it said in the B-52's voice. Like, Shackman, baby. Like, that's what I hear.
Matt Shackman.
Yeah.
Looks like it's going to be Matt Shackman. So if that name doesn't mean anything to you, Matt Shackman was the vision behind WandaVision.
Sorry. Kempis is like, who the fuck is this guy?
See, Kefis? See, you're not paying enough attention.
This guy looks like the husband that flirts with a babysitter.
Jeez.
He might be. But I think everyone thought that Disney Marvel would want to go with a big name director, someone to really do something special with the Fantastic Four, and so that Kevin Feige wouldn't have to worry about it. I'm pretty sure we talked about that. We definitely talked about that. That Feige loved the way that Multiverse of Madness went because Raimi could handle it and Kevin Feige could focus on other projects.
Yeah.
So with this, they ended up going with Matt Shackman. Here are some other names real quick that were allegedly being considered. Michael Matthews and Reed Carolyn. Carolyn directed Magic Mike.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
The
yeah,
first
I
two-
can see the parallels with Fantastic Four there. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. It's all over. 22 Jump Street
Not even the first one.
and White House Down.
I don't remember.
No,
that
thank you.
Yeah,
No.
that's
If it is Shackman, I think that this makes sense because you want to start pulling some of those. This is something I mentioned I think a few weeks back, where you want to start pulling people from the TV properties. Like you have these people in house, give them the big budget, give them the break to actually be able to put on an actual film. considering you've been playing around in the universe a little bit. Like that's cool, right? Now let's give you the shot. I think this makes sense, and they're relatively. I mean, just like going through the the article, episodes on Everybody Hates Chris, The Boys, Game of Thrones. You know what? That's pretty good. That's a good resume. I don't I don't mind that, and I don't mind that it's TV. I think that'll work for Marvel.
I don't. I think this is a really weird choice. Um, I think that with the Fantastic Four, I feel like it has to be better than good. Like I don't think it can come out and be like, that was all right. Because the Fantastic Four have had one atrocious movie and two movies that were like fun at the time. And
All
that's
right.
it. Look, it could work. I'm not, I want this to work. I definitely want this to work. I'm dying for a great Fantastic Four movie. And maybe it's because I ultimately ended up having a lot of problems with WandaVision, and that's clouding my feelings here. But I was really hoping for a director with a pedigree of working on films that have ensemble casts and big budgets. I really was hoping for that.
I think WandaVision satisfies both of your things there. It was
It
the
does?
first Disney Plus one, so it
It's not
probably
even
had
a
the
film.
biggest budget. The way they make those are like films at this point. They're just like long films, and it's probably an issue with what the TV shows are. But I think in terms of direction, WandaVision might be one of the best directed ones. The way that it plays with the different types of camera, and like the way it plays with the history of TV and that, it definitely was one of the probably the most interestingly directed Disney Plus shows so far. So I'm not against it, and it also feels like they kind of want to build up their own people instead of. I know Feige wants to have like Sam Raimi, so he's a little more hands off. But I think Disney as a company wants a more house style, and these quote unquote no name movie directors building those up as their own in house guys. It makes sense. Still not what I wanted, but I can see the reasoning for it. He also directed a pretty good episode of Game of Thrones. I just looked it up. It was EzraWatch episode in season 7 before it went downhill. But
Nah, that went downhill in season 7. Sorry. I like it. I like this as like a strategy. You're bringing in house people, so I'd wait to see how it comes out, what we start to hear from the script, what we start to hear from like the cast, to see as it gets built out, because I think that's also going to be part of it. Is yeah, you have your director, but how do you also figure out your specific the people that you want to be representing on the actual screen?
Matt Shackman directed 43 episodes of It Was Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm back in. If that's the dynamic that the Fantastic Four has, I'm in.
To be fair, Joss Whedon didn't have a whole lot of film
Yeah.
experience before Avengers,
Was it just
and
Firefly?
certainly not much. Firefly and Buffy the
Firefly.
Vampire Slayer.
I thought it was good shit.
Oh, with Pee Wee Herman. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
What?
But
Oh, yeah. The original Buffy movie is outside of the TV continuity. It's its own thing.
Oh.
yeah, so Joss Whedon, I think, is a good example of when this can work. Joss Whedon is one of one, but I'm gonna see it either way. So it's better for me to be hopeful than not. This just isn't the announcement that I was thinking would set me on fire and like set the stage for like, okay, we know the director, who's the cast, let's get this ball rolling, let's get this movie out before 2025 so I can win my bet. Let's get it. I think all that will still happen,
Ephes.
but I'm just not as enthused on this particular announcement. Do you guys think we will get the casting announcements at D23.
I think so. I think we get
Yeah.
that, and I think we get a Hulk movie announcement.
A
No
Hulk movie?
way.
Huh.
Are you watching She-Hulk, Sean?
Yeah.
I didn't see
They're-
the second episode, but I saw the first.
They're heavily alluding to, like, not even playing with it, that he's going back as Sakaar. We're getting a World War Hulk.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
For them to do it 2 episodes in a row, I'm like, they are planning something here, and they usually time those episodes out purposefully to then have announcements. So
Interesting.
When is
fits in
D23?
that weird blank area we have. You know,
September 9th, I think. It's that
Oh.
weekend.
Oh, it's coming up.
That's fascinating. So there is a rights issue with Universal that has prevented them from making Hulk movies in the past. I don't know if that's cleared up or if they have reached some kind of agreement where they can make these movies and not lose their lunch. But that would be hot. A World War Hulk arc for the MCU is something that I could really get behind. A Planet Hulk movie, a legit Planet Hulk movie. And
Yeah, I
then
think
a
that- I
World
think
War
that's what
Hulk
we're getting.
follow-up, I am all about it. But I think we get casting, yes.
I think so. Yeah, that makes sense.
how many
Actually,
Stranger
hold on.
Things people are going to be in this movie? Isn't that what everyone's fan casting?
Is it really?
Huh.
Yeah, the guy who plays the brother in the second season or the last season.
The guy who plays the brother of who?
I know there's a lot of brothers. Of the ginger girl.
There are not a lot of
forgetting, I'm
brothers.
forgetting.
Wait, the ginger
characters'
girl?
names.
Isn't he an asshole?
Yeah, he's an asshole.
He's an asshole
Well,
in the
in
movie.
the
He's always
show,
flirting with the
yeah.
moms. Yeah.
Oh,
Who would he play?
Doc-
Johnny?
Oh, Johnny.
Doc Gray Montgomery or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah. Dakin or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was Jason in the Power Rangers reboot.
Yes. People are always fan casting
Oh.
him as Johnny Storm.
I never realized that. Hey, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Danny
was on
DeVito
the
as
nose.
the Thing.
No, come on.
I just looked it up. Matt Shackman did the Nightman Cometh episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So this guy has my full support going forward.
I think D23 is going to be huge, and I think it's the event to look towards.
I guess next week will be our predictions.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm
lines up, right?
gonna be sick.
Hey,
Predictions.
you
Kale
can't use that
will
excuse.
be lukewarm to all of the reveals.
If they're not talking about DuckTales, I'm not interested.
They might be. There's an animation panel.
Kev has said.
I'll be there.
Kev has said we damn well better get the casting announcement. Yeah, I think it's time.
And
I think it's time.
if you saw my TikTok, guys, we might be getting a Wolverine announcement soon, possibly. I'm sniffing some X-Men news coming up pretty soon.
In fact, so the only 2 movies we don't know the cast of really are, or at least like the principal characters of, are Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts. Not principal characters, but principal cast, like the main people.
I would say maybe Blade too, because I can't
I was
just
about
be
to say
a
Blade.
Marshall Ali.
Well, but like he's the marquee guy. We know who's playing
Sure.
him. I don't care who's playing, Deacon Frost.
You don't? Mephisto?
It'd be cool if you told me Mephisto was going to be in a Blade movie. I would say, why isn't he in Doctor Strange? But
Yeah, I agree. Mephisto confirmed.
We're probably getting I bet we probably get more information about Loki too, because we haven't, because Quantumania is going to come out and that's going to have Kang, so we must have some more Kang somewhere.
Well, you save that for the predictions.
Right.
We'll get into that. What we're going to end the show with, though, is our conversation about the most underutilized characters in comics. I feel like everybody has a few characters that suck a little, maybe, but they really love them, and they stand for that character. The way that Marco is about Swamp Thing, that's what I'm talking about.
Rep it.
Are you wearing that shirt again?
Yo,
I have,
dude.
I have multiple versions of it.
Oh,
Come on, guys, ease
You
up.
you don't have multiple white versions of it.
Yeah, I do. I have 2 of these, and then I have one in white of the other one and one in black of the other one.
produce it.
You want me to get it?
Yep.
I'll get it to you right now. This is on.
Have
Look,
it.
they're
Have,
doing a stank check
stay
on you.
tuned.
Stay
Stay
tuned.
tuned. Don't go anywhere. Marco's gonna change his shirt, and we'll see if it's the same shirt.
Okay.
Yeah, not just change it. I want to see the other one.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I have it.
You want a side by side?
Yes, exactly.
All right.
So we will be right back. For those of you watching on Twitch, thank you for sticking around.
Hello again.
We're back.
Hello again.
Thank you for waiting. Thank you for continuing to watch. If you are still here, we appreciate it if you leave us a like. If you're enjoying the show, leave us a like, leave us a follow, a rating, a review. Wherever you're listening, there's a way to show that support. Over on Twitch, we would appreciate that subscription. You can do that with your Amazon Prime, just like I did right now.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh shit!
Is that a glass Coke?
why are you so shocked about that? Jeez. Yeah,
Because they're really good.
yeah, it's a Mexican Coke.
Yeah, it's the good shit.
This is what I make my rum and Cokes with.
Did you say Mexican Coke?
Yeah,
You got some of that?
yeah. Well,
I'm coming
talk to you
through.
off mic, off mic. Oh.
So before we get into the main topic, Marco has to produce that he has 2 of the same shirt. Let's see it.
Ready?
2 Swamp Things.
This is the Saturday shirt. This was the Thursday shirt.
All right.
This is obviously my other shirt, and then this one this one I don't wear as much because it's my favorite cover.
I don't wear it as much
Interesting.
because it's my favorite.
Space,
Because then,
space
it
swamp.
starts to like wear out a lot. Like,
Ooh, I have a Swamp Thing shirt here. Hold on.
Oh, what nasty thing is he about to produce?
yeah, right. Swamp ass shirt.
And this is mine right here. This is
Boo! Boo! Hiss! Hiss!
Tyler, you know the meme, maybe you guys would know it too, of Sting pulling his mask off and he has another mask under.
yes. Yep.
I really wish, Marco, that you would have put both
Oh,
shirts
that's
on.
such a good idea. I didn't even
Taking
think
it
about
off.
it. You're right.
Yeah, I wish I had thought of it sooner. All right. Enough about Swamp Thing. Let's talk about underutilized characters, not shitty characters. I'm trying to get a rise out of Marco. He's not reacting.
I'm
Oh, I've
ignoring
seen.
it.
I saw some of the ones Marco mentioned, so I might agree with you, Sean. But
All right, so here's the premise. This is about characters that we love who we feel like don't get used enough. Whether that means that they're not around or their appearances aren't too important. These are the characters that we think Marvel or DC don't utilize enough in comics, who should get more play. They don't have to be heroes. They don't have to be villains. They don't even have to have powers. I don't care what kind of character it is. If you feel like they're underutilized, that's fair game. I also want to ask, and we'll get to this. This isn't the immediate topic, but I also want to ask whether or not we feel like the big 2 shuffle the deck enough. So, every now and then you got to kind of like bring someone down the card a little bit, bring somebody else up just to keep things fresh. Like they recently brought Black Cat over the last few years into a more prominent position at Marvel. That's just one example I can think of off the top of my head. Do we think they do that enough? And then I also want to close with a conversation about which characters we would strap the rocket to and build around for some kind of long-term storytelling thing, whether it leads to an event or whatever it is, something along those lines. Who would you choose? So we'll start with what characters would you call out as being underutilized?
So I guess I'll throw one of mine out here.
Okay.
And again, I'll throw one that's a little more high profile on here. So I'm just gonna throw it on the screen as well. I think Tigra from Marvel Comics is super underutilized.
Didn't she just marry Tony Stark?
You see, that's the issue. You're thinking of Hellcat.
Oh, whoops, wrong cat.
You're only proving my
Pat-
point now.
Patsy Walker, Hellcat. Yeah.
Wrong
You got
kitty.
it.
So I'll throw Tigra on the screen there. Yeah, I think Tigra should get her due. She's a super fun character. She's an Avengers staple, but who's always been like C tier Avenger. And I think especially with how prominent in media Catgirls are, like now is the chance for Tigra's like big time to come. She just showed up as a main side character in the Rescue Rangers movie. So there's some want for her out there. That's a
Should-
weird sentence to say out loud, huh?
Should they hire manga-inspired artists
Oh,
to do a Tigra mini?
yes.
I mean, they tried that. Written by Greg Pak, because apparently that's all Marvel knows how to do for their Asian heroes and all the manga adjacent heroes that they did. I'd be into that. I always thought of Tigra as more of like an American thing
Yeah.
of just.
Well, you mentioned Catgirl.
Yeah. Well, that's what Iron Cat is for. That's another thing that's going on right now. But yeah. So I'm throwing Tigra out there as an option.
Okay. I think that definitely fits the criteria.
I had originally shared King Shark. Now I know he got a movie because he's
Well, okay. Yeah.
he was in Suicide Squad. I think there was also I'm forgetting where, but in some other, I think in one of the CW shows. But I think in the comics doesn't get the same kind of
Flash?
love. Yeah, in the Flash. Yeah. And it doesn't get the same kind of love because there's this one particular arc for Aquaman. It's by Kurt Busiek, and in it, it makes King Shark an actual king of like another kingdom, and so it's the characters utilized more as an antagonist from like a royalty perspective, and like how do you deal with the politics of this shark nation, and like at the end of the day they end up fighting and stuff. But there's different ways that you could show the depth of these characters, and that was one of them that I thought was really interesting. That I wish they would just do more, and using King Shark as like this brutish villain, I think is usually the easy way to go. But when you can add some kind of complexity to the character, and you therein add stakes, and you add in stakes for Arthur and how it all shakes out in the larger Atlantis. So that's something I wish would get used. That character would get used more because we always get, was it Ocean Master? You always get fucking Black Manta. I'm tired of these guys.
So you want King Shark back as a more prominent, serious Aquaman side character? Okay.
Yep.
So I have one that is a hot take and will probably get you guys angry.
Jean
Ugh.
Grey.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
Oh,
No.
fuck out of here.
No.
You almost had me there, actually.
Miles Morales.
What?
Okay, let's go.
I think that Marvel Comics has dropped the ball with Miles Morales.
I agree with that.
They tried to make him a main character in Civil War II. That book didn't work. I don't want to say that what they tried to do with Miles didn't work, but just the whole totality of that book didn't work. And it feels like ever since Bendis left Marvel, the enthusiasm behind Miles left with him. They haven't really given him that A-list, top-tier creative team yet. He's a ghost in AXE Judgment Day, and I know he's not a part of any of those teams, but I feel like for him to not be a part of this or really any of the major events that Marvel has done is a shame. And I think that he is underutilized.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think about
Wow.
that a lot, actually. I really do. I think I don't I like him as Spider-Man, as like I don't know, against Peter Parker. Like I think it still makes a ton of sense.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he's just been gone.
And
And
they
I think
champion.
with the popularity of the character, like it doesn't make sense.
And there's
Yeah,
no
wow.
on active champions book going on either. Like Miles is a great POV young Avengers
Yeah.
character. I feel. You know what I mean? Like throw him on a big team, and he could be that young guy that's on the team.
Think about how perfect it would have been to have a tie-in issue of AXE, one of the ones that they announced that we talked about earlier, focused on Miles. Him being judged, him as this young character who's like, whoa, I didn't ask for any of this. This is nuts. Now I'm being judged. Where does he fall into that? I feel like they're doing nothing with him, but you guys get it. Kale, did you have a pick?
Yeah, mine is basically the whole JSA. Specifically Johnny Thunder and Jakeem Thunder. So they're two characters that they don't have powers, but they have a genie who is basically like Mr. Mixelspitalik and the Batmite. He's like a fifth dimension imp or some shit. And Johnny Thunder is the Golden Age character that hung out with the Thunderbolt. That's the genie. And then he merged with the Thunderbolt. And now Jakeem Thunder is the keeper of the Thunderbolt. And I think it'd just be really cool to see them again because he was a popular character. At some point, I think there's a lot of potential there. I think there's a lot of potential for like cool social commentary there. What would a young black man do with a genie?
Isn't that just Kazam?
You
What would a young black man do with a
that was
genie?
reversed. That was a black man genie. That was different. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
That's funny. Yeah, the JSA are getting Jeff Johns is doing the thing coming up soon, right? So
Yep,
hopefully you
yep.
will get what you're asking for.
I
He
doubt
did
it.
show up on promotional art, so give
Yeah.
you that. Yeah.
Yo, speaking of JSA, give me fucking Wildcat, bro.
Really, we're gonna do this? You think
It's
Wild?
not
you
even.
think, you
It's
think
not even to me.
Wildcat is underutilized?
1,000%.
I think so. Yeah,
What-
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, dog.
What should he be doing?
He should have his own title on just like training Black Canary or like training superheroes. Like he's just a pick of the week hero, and you're coming into my gym and we're gonna box and we're gonna talk some shit out like that.
We could
I fuck
you
with
could
it.
you could do an anthology series about how fucking every hero comes in and thinks they're tougher than Wildcat and
Oh.
he shows them up.
Yeah,
Like that would be a tremendous series.
he whips Batman's ass, dude. Like,
All
I'm
right,
down
Kale.
for that.
That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah. It's almost like a character that's been around for 70 years has legs.
Got
70?
two of them. Yeah, he's
Probably
a
longer
very
than
old
that.
character, yeah.
been around.
All right, I'll allow it. Anyone else got any ones they want to highlight?
Yeah, so I have two more. I'll throw one of them out there right now. But one of them is Sideways from DC Comics.
How did I know?
Side.
I love Sideways. So Sideways was. Do you guys remember what that publishing line was called? Back when they introduced like
no.
there was like the Terrifics. There was all these like new the Forgotten Ones. I think was another one. A whole bunch of new DC characters they were introduced. But this one was introduced by, oh man, let me look this up.
Dan Didio, Justin Jordan.
Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to find the creators here.
Wow, Justin Jordan.
Kenneth Rocafort. Yeah, it was Dan Didio and Kenneth Rocafort.
The Dark
and
Matter
surprisingly,
line?
yeah, the Dark Matter line. Yep. Surprisingly, Didio wrote just a young character in the DC universe. So this whole thing is like, this is after the Dark Knight's Metal thing, where he kind of got affected by some of the metal that was in Dark Knight's Metal, and he got these powers where he can pretty much pull portals in time and space, and he could jump through them. And at one point, he accidentally rips a guy's arm off because he closes a portal with him there, and he's like, "Oh shit! What the fuck did I just do?" It's really good. It felt like a Spider-Man in the DC universe that I never really felt before. And Rocafort's art was very, very fun for what it was. And like the fact that his powers come from like this temporal judge that was very Kirby-esque, and he didn't know like that's what it was dealing with. He's underrated. He kind of shows up in the background of things, but I think he's a fun teen character. There's a lot of teen characters that have come up through the years who have just remained in their own books and never gotten further that I think are great. I had Trauma from Avengers Academy on my list too, who's Nightmare's son. There's those teen characters in general would be great.
Speaking of teen characters, I think that Marvel underutilizes the new mutants, the new X-Men. Well, the new X-Men. The
like Rockslide and
the Christopher Yost and who was his writing partner? It's Yost and shoot, why can I not remember this? But they were the ones that took over the new X-Men title after Morrison rather. And it's phenomenal. It has Surge, who's one of my favorite characters. It's got Rockslide, so many of Sage, I think, not Sage, Elixir rather. It's got Hellions in it. It's got so many awesome characters. It's a phenomenal run. And I grew up when those characters were kids, I was a kid. So when I first bought that, I was like 16, 17, and they were, around that age, and I thought it was so cool. I'd grow up with them. And I didn't realize how comics work. I didn't know that they were going to stay that same age the whole time and not become the new, like, X-Men. You know what I'm saying? Like, to take the main stage. So I would love to see that happen.
Was Laura part of that team too? I'm seeing from this image.
Yeah,
it's like a Bakula image.
Yeah. I want to say that they're the ones that really kind of brought her into the fold. So Craig Kyle and Christopher Yost are who I'm thinking of.
Yep.
So yeah, I would say those characters.
I want. I really appreciated the Young Animal line for bringing back a lot of different and wacky characters beyond Doom Patrol and Cave Carson, but one of my favorite books was Shade the Changing Girl, and that's a character that I think is ripe for just out there writing, really creative art, and the Cecil Castellucci, Marley Zarcone, that Young Animal run, I think was really, really good, and I wish they did a lot more. I wish they had the room to do a lot more because frankly, just like bonkers. It's a visual feast, and I think the kind of ideas about identity and what it means to be a person and how you can how that's so flexible is really interesting.
I like that. Let's get into the next phase of this conversation. Do you guys think that the big two do a good enough job of putting different characters in positions to shine and be visible and get to do interesting things? Or do you feel like it's kind of like mostly the same people all the time and rarely does anybody else come up?
I think that, frankly, I wish we had more one-off characters, like one-off stories to build off like a one-off villain or a one-off, I don't know, sidekick, because that's how you end up getting and diversifying the cast. So it helps you prevent the need to have to cycle through a lot of characters, and gives you breathing room for, I don't know, like you want to see the Joker come back, but is it not much more satisfying after like a few months or years at that point to be able to see the next big Joker return? And um, to answer your question, I think they do a bit of just. I'm thinking of Batman, right? Like you see the same cast a lot of the time. And he has a large cast, which I think is advantageous to making it feel different. But for some smaller characters like Swamp Thing, like we read, right? Like you guys know who, what's his face was, not the Cedar. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name.
Woodrow?
The Wood guy.
Yes, Woodrow, right? Like he's the only one that you have familiarity with from what we've read with Swamp Thing. But he's also the one that consistently comes back, and like I'm tired of him. I'm tired of Arcane. Like I want some variety there, and like yeah, they're big villains, but I'd like something new. I'd like something that feels fresh for the character, and I wish we'd gotten some more of that. And I appreciate at least what Rom did with the Parliament of Gears, and some of those new villains, even if I wasn't over the moon for them.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's enough. I think of like, in the 80s, there were how many different incarnations of the Justice League, that had a ton of weird characters, and like Batman was the minority. Like Justice League International, where it was Shazam and Guy Gardner and
Gnort.
Martian Manhunter and Black Canary and Gnort. But also, like, I mean, even today, like, what is it? Ghost Rider and Black Panther are Avengers, but they're still flanked by Captain America and Iron Man and Thor. I just don't think enough. Please.
I was gonna say, in terms of the current Avengers lineup, there's some weird ones on there. Like Gorilla Man is a major character in it. Brew from Jason Aaron's X-Men run is one of the main side characters. Blade is an Avenger,
This is the most awkward main Avengers team I think I've ever seen. The only thing that, like in my time of reading comics, the only thing that touches it is what Hickman did. Like that main Avengers team was pretty out there.
And some would say it's not working too. So
I would say it's less about the characters, but be that as it may. Tyler, what are your thoughts on that?
Sorry, I started thinking about Swamp Thing a lot when Marco was talking about it. What was the main question?
The question we're tackling right now is: do you think the big two does enough to shuffle the deck?
No, because their comics are just a reflection of their non-comics media IP. Avengers going forward will always have Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor.
Yeah.
At least one of them. Probably all three.
Is that a bad thing?
Personally, for me, yeah. Until the non-comics media can reflect something else, like my Avengers is like New Avengers or Mighty Avengers. Like that's the kind of Avengers.
Tyler, those characters are there.
Well, no, I'm talking about like it being a weird lineup without like. I'm thinking like Luke Cage being a member. I'm thinking of like Wonder Man being a little more prominent.
But Cap wasn't there.
Yeah, but like I don't even think he really like what I remember from those books is not that. I remember like Doctor Strange being part. I remember like Iron Fist. Like those are like the keystones for me. I remember Daredevil saying no to joining the Avengers.
Yeah.
That's the kind of like stuff I like. And in terms of like Justice League, I'm thinking of like Morrison's Justice League. Would have weird additions.
A fucking angel.
Yeah. What do you remember the angel's name? I totally forgot his name.
Is it Zariel?
Yeah, something like that. He just shows up like in the first 2 issues or something like that.
Yeah.
I like when the teams get a little wacky. And at that point, sure, put another adjective in front of the team name. make it a Secret Avengers, make it a JLI or something. That's fine with me. But like in my personal preference, I like when you can play like this is a team of characters in this universe. Have some fun with it. But I don't think we're ever gonna have like a super wacky team ever again because it'll always have the core members there. Like Captain Marvel's another one. I think she'll always be an Avenger going forward.
I just have to challenge that because I don't know when there was ever a time when that wasn't the case.
Like one of them wasn't.
Yeah, like
Well,
when was that? When was
wasn't
that?
the whole thing of Bendis's like reforming the Avengers because he killed them all or killed Avengers in Avengers Disassembled? And I guess
Bro.
maybe that's the modern status quo now, you know?
Bro, come on. Iron Man and Cap started the new Avengers. Luke Cage became the leader later.
But then that's what I'm saying. That's when it was good. That's when I liked
But they
it.
were
Cap
still
was dead.
there. They
Cap
were
was
on
dead.
the team. Tell me one time the core Avengers team did not have one of the big three, and I will concede.
Mighty Avengers with Dan Slott.
Wait a second. Wasn't Tony Stark on? Was Tony
No,
Stark
I
and Captain
believe-
Marvel on that team?
I believe that was when Hank Pym led it. It was the Mighty Avengers, I believe.
Yeah. I'm looking because I don't know. Oh shoot! I tried to go to Amazon. They said nah. Fuck you.
So you're saying, Tyler?
Yeah.
you-
So the team layout was Vision, Stature, Hercules, Hank Pym, U.S. Agent, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver.
Okay, fair, but still not the core Avengers book.
It was the Mighty Avengers. I feel like
It
that's-
was not the Avengers.
was
No,
there
but I think
an
that's a
Avengers
technicality.
book?
No, it's not.
no,
That's
no,
bullshit. Don't even
no,
try
no.
that.
Hold on.
No. Adjectiveless Avengers is Avengers. There's no
Oh,
world
that's
that
West
you can
Coast
make that argument.
erasure. That's
Marco.
West Coast erasure at that point.
No, adjectiveless Avengers is the Avengers. Anything other than that is an offshoot. Sorry.
And you're not going to count Offshoot as the same footing as the Avengers?
Of course not.
Wasn't Bendis' original team when they started? Wasn't that the New Avengers?
Yes, but that was a very deliberate and specific relaunch. But adjectiveless,
But that's an adjective Avengers.
yeah. And it had Cap, Thor, and Iron Man.
That's an
on it.
offshoot.
Okay.
No, Thor wasn't there.
Okay. What's your point?
but he's trying to say that it has to be an adjectiveless Avengers that doesn't have one of
That I'm talking about the primary Avengers book. Okay. The primary one has always had that some combination of those three people.
I don't know enough. I concede.
Yeah, I think Marco, you're gonna have to concede on that one.
I don't care enough. I'm out.
I'm looking this up. You guys keep talking.
I'm
So-
ignorance kill his apathy.
So for me, I think it happens in spurts for the big two. I think they fall in love with shaking things up, and then that's when you get like a really weird team of Avengers or a weird team of the Justice League, and even if you get beyond that, just characters that are prominent who otherwise weren't. And that's always fun. You know, Tyler referencing Luke Cage, not just being a leader of the Avengers, but being a character who mattered in Marvel, whose storyline was at the forefront of Marvel. And that's what excites me, is when that shifts and changes. I think about all new, all different, all new, all those different iterations that they did, even though you still had Cap, Thor, Iron Man, and all that good stuff.
Found it.
They were not Steve Rogers, Tony, and Thor Odin's son.
From 1990 to 94, the Avengers team was Black Widow as the leader, Crystal, Cersei, Black Knight, Hercules, and the Vision.
Wow, that is wild.
That's a team.
That's
That's
4
a
years.
Justice League International team.
And then it led into Heroes Reborn, and then we got the Avengers back, and it was a thing. So
All right, well, there you go. I see why Marvel was on the verge of collapse.
Damn.
Iron Man, Cap, and Thor were on trading cards.
So, which characters do you think, which it could be just one, whatever you want to do you think if you were in control, if you had all the cards, who would you thrust into the pole position of their respective universe and say, and again, they don't have to be a hero. I want to build a story or an event around this character. I think this character should have that spotlight.
The Spirit.
What
want-
universe?
What?
He has his own universe.
Well, yeah, he has. It's his own universe. Well, no, but it's part of. I think it's like in Dynamite now. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, you don't.
Damn it.
So for me, and I don't know why this keeps popping up in my head, and I'm not sure which one I would pick, but Nova is what keeps jumping to me. Whether we go Sam Alexander, who I have a real soft spot in my heart for, or good old Dick Ryder himself. I think Nova is one of those characters where, like, as Matt Murphy would say, is very toyetic. Like, I feel like that costume is just like you can merchandise the shit out of that character. I think it's a relatively clean slate in terms of non-comics media as well. Never really been touched. He's got tie-ins to Cosmic, and tie-ins to just plain old New Warrior shit, So he's kind of got his foot in both worlds, and I think it's in his power set, not fully defined either. So there's a lot of room for malleability going there. And hell, fuck it, put the helmet on a new person if you want to. Make a female Nova, although I think there was
Another
one at
one.
one point. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a Herald of Galactus, right? It was one of them.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nova's a good one.
As
Marco-
like the central point of either the DC or Marvel universe.
Yeah, like
think so.
like a central point. Like I guess it doesn't have to be like Nova Land, but like a major fixture within the ongoing story. Yeah.
Arcade. No.
So like in the mystical side of the DC universe is always something that's been more fascinating to me with stuff like Swamp Thing, Constantine. I've always wondered about like a demon-led event or story that happens in hell, and there are repercussions with Lucifer, and like the Phantom Stranger comes in. Like there are these larger concepts that have to duke it out for some reason in hell. And I've always liked the demon as being someone like that, because you can also start to introduce that mystic dark side with the sword and sorcery end of something like an Amethyst or like Merlin and stuff like that.
Interesting.
So like those concepts fighting against each other would be cool.
I like that. You redeemed yourself.
Yes, go! I know
Spirit.
shit about comics.
Spirit.
You know shit about comics.
Yeah.
Marco screamed out Spirit the same way Joe Biden screamed out soda in that one. It's like, Spirit,
Kale?
I am pretty torn. I think I could go a couple of ways. All DC, and there's just nothing I can do about that. So I want to say, initially, I want to say like the Spectre,
Ooh.
for a similar reason to Marco, actually. And Marco's pitch was actually better than mine. I think I want to lean it more on the JSA though. In general, I think I want to see them. So I think it's maybe Brad Meltzer and his run on, it may be Identity Crisis, it may be his run on Green Arrow, but he says something to the effect of the Justice League teaches you how to fight, but the Justice Society is where you become part of the family. Something on those lines. And I think there could be a really good sort of DC community event that could like deeper the connection of the hero community as well as really test the core Justice Society.
Okay. I could see that.
They have they used to do a JLA JSA Thanksgiving special. And there's a book called Virtue and Vice that's all about that. And it's like the 7 deadly sins that are on the Rock of Eternity get released. And it's similar to that, but I guess on a bigger scale.
Okay. I like that.
I'm pretty good at this. Maybe I'm better than I think.
Almost like a profession or something.
Or something.
Gotta go with Jean Grey, guys.
Bah.
All right, I'm ending the stream.
I'm just kidding. My actual answer is Kang. So yeah,
We're talking comics.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I can agree with this.
I thought it had to be like a
About to say
smaller
what?
character.
No.
Hold on.
You're-
I thought it was gonna be like a small character that you were gonna be like building up to, not like a
it's-
big ass thing. Like
We're allowed to
No.
use characters that had like major wide universe spanning one shots just within the past year. We can do that.
Well, I would love to know from Marco, who's saying no. What Kang? When have you seen Kang?
he just had a run.
Okay,
What?
He had a maxi
A
series.
maxi series, yeah, like a
Mm-hmm.
few months ago.
and what happened?
I didn't read it. I don't know.
Right. So
And he popped up in. He was
didn't-
one of the big bads in the event that we read.
which one was that?
Timeless.
Oh my God.
Timeless.
Uncanny Avengers. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. That wasn't an event.
That was a run. Yeah. All right. Even worse, he was there. He was a part of like an actual storyline.
Okay.
Mark,
right.
you need help?
I don't know anything.
Tag me in. Tag me in.
I'm tagging in.
He was
Tyler.
in Timeless last year, which is going to be introducing.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Marco, can you shut the hell up? What are you saying, Tyler?
He was in that Timeless one shot. That was like their point one. He was the starring character of that last December or so.
Right. So the idea here is to strap the rocket to them, right? And to build something around them.
Jetpack.
So that one shot or whatever that was is not what I'm talking about. Kang is a character who deserves an event, and he's an event level villain. Kang's about to be, having his own movie, likely the villain of the, last or this phase and the next two. The fact that Kang hasn't had an event unto himself, at least in a very, very long time. The Kang Dynasty, I guess, you could consider that, even though that was within the pages of Avengers. I'm talking about a universe-spanning event that puts him as at the center as the villain, as what I believe him to be, the true ultimate enemy of Marvel. That's what I want to see.
Of Marvel.
Yeah.
So what they're going to be doing in the movies?
Yeah, absolutely. And not because of the movies, because Thanos got that treatment, but Thanos was that type of villain already, because Infinity War and all that, or Infinity Gauntlet.
So you want Kang to go back to his former glory that he had back in like the Busiek era of Avengers and stuff.
Right. Since I started reading comics, the only time that Kang was the big bad in like a major way was Uncanny Avengers, and again, that was not an event. So that's what I would like to see. I would like to see him in that prominent position, A-list villain that the Avengers have to deal with, or that Marvel has to deal with.
Given that Hickman event.
I
Yeah.
think the Kang event would be fun. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
I like Kang, so I'm down. I'm down for that.
Yeah. Who doesn't like Kang?
Questions.
Funny, you said Gene, and I started to object, and I went, Actually, a Jean-led event might not be that bad. And then I went, wait, Phoenix, I'm out.
When Jean came back, I had fantasized for years about what that would be like.
Gross.
Creepy,
Come on.
creepy turn of phrase there. Oh boy! All right.
Yeah, get it all out.
I just heard something hit the bottom of your desk just there, Sean. Jeez, come on.
I thought that exploring how she feels about what she went through would have been interesting, and fighting against, her legacy, kind of trying to redeem herself. I hate the fact that they never really dealt with that. It was kind of hand wavy, the Rosenberg stuff, and then she was just back. It was X-Men Red, and that was that.
Yeah, it felt like they already knew what their larger plans were, so it's like, all right, let's just get there.
Yeah, I didn't love it. And they never did her right. But I wouldn't choose that for this, because I know I'd never get to explain my point, because you guys would dog me out.
All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Come on.
No, that's it.
I want to
What's the
entertain
pitch?
it. No,
That's
okay,
it.
let's hear it. I
That's
want to
it.
entertain it.
See you
Nope.
next week.
We're 2.5 hours in. Tyler said he was
right.
going to cut the stream when I said Jean Grey's name. We're not doing it.
All right, but listen, I'm putting my foot down. You'll never speak of it again. Never again on this show. This is your chance to sell it or
There's
don't.
an ocean between that foot, so I don't know if that. I don't think Sean will. It's too. It's not a. It's an RSM-sized foot.
I'm invoking my right as a shareholder.
Okay,
You get
Kale.
it now. You get it now, or you don't.
So here's what I'm going to say to that. I'm cool with that, and I'll never bring it up again, because maybe I'll write it one day.
Damn. All right.
Who do you guys feel are underrated? Not underrated. Sorry,
Me.
that's not the gimmick. Underutilized characters in DC and Marvel, comics specifically. This is a comics podcast, okay? Not a content podcast.
Ooh.
Fuck you, MCU reactionaries on TikTok.
Or fuck us, who did 3 weeks in a row of DC made time. DC film made time. Sorry, guys.
I need you to post some TikToks holding up your just the Apple iPhone mic, doing some commentary.
on the comings and goings of WB Discovery.
Rather not.
Fair enough. Yeah, let us know what characters you guys think are underutilized. Obviously, everyone has their picks, so please share them with us. Do you guys think that our picks did they fit the criteria? Does Kang qualify? Or should we go with Marco's idea of the spirit?
The spirit in particular. boy.
Soda.
Can we get that on the sound box there, Tyler?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to put it on there. Yeah. That's me whenever I come back from a break, because I always have a soda. So it's.
I love it. There are plenty of ways for you guys to get us. Anything you want to share with us, any thoughts, you can do that. Wherever it is you listen, there's a comment section. You can write to us at thecomicspals@gmail.com. You can leave us a comment on youtube.com/thecomicspals. While you are there, like the video, share it with your friends. Subscribe. All that is free to do and helps us out a lot more than it costs you. Patreon.com/thecomicspals is where, for as little as $3 a month, you can support your pals, and you get some really cool stuff out of the deal. So head on over there and check us out. That's all we ask is a shot. Join our Discord server. Come hang out with us there. We're always having a great time. It's a lot of fun. Oh, by the way, on the Patreon, real quick, we put up our latest poll there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we got the Halloween theme, the spooky theme poll for the book club this month. So it is Nailbiter. That was Marco's pick. It's
Mine.
Razor Blades. That's Kale's pick. And Blackest Night, Tyler's pick. So head on over there and vote for which one you want us to do a book club on. And then in October, you'll be able to listen to it. So that's a pretty cool deal. Also, for Pals Pulls, we are officially going to have a listener pick every week. One of the 4 books we do, or 5, however it shakes out, will be a listener pick. So if you want to suggest your book, leave us a comment with that suggestion. We're going to tally them up, see what book wins out, and that's the one we're going to do. Quick rule, it has to be a single issue. You can't say, oh, shoot, the omnibus for Batman No Man's Land just came out. Why don't you guys go read that?
Yeah.
The answer is no. But a one singular issue, yes.
One other addendum, and I mean this in the most lovingly way possible. Don't be saying read my issue. You know what I mean? Like I wanted something that's in like previews or something, just so that everyone can have access to. That's readily available. You know.
Okay.
That works.
Unless
it came out that week.
we could just dog them out. It has to have come out that week. We're not going to read anything that didn't come out that week. But if you are the creator yourself, take the chance. We're going to give it an honest review.
Yeah.
So,
Like somebody who hopped on the 2 people who hopped on, and somebody
Same
that
episode.
asked us to rate their title, Psionic 6. That shit was hot. You know
You
what?
remembered it.
was good.
You remembered
We'll
it.
be
wow, I
honest.
can't believe you remember that.
Dude, honestly, I was like, that fucks, dude. That's a cool ass title.
Oh, nice. Let's get into the plugs. Kale.
Caught me off guard.
Plug this throat.
COVID.
COVID.
New strain.
What is it? 2020.
Sometimes I think it is. Sorry.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Comics Pals. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TotoInto. That's TOTOINTOW. You can find my work at KaleWard.com. That's CALEWARD.com. Hopefully, with more to come.
Oh,
Oh.
get that.
Stuff we know
Tease there.
about?
You know about it.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Is
You can
DC
see
on
it.
the horn?
You can see it too if you look real close.
Oh, yep. Uh-huh.
Oh, I think so.
My eyes aren't that good. But congratulations.
Thank you.
Marco.
You can find me at Mr. Marco Enomoto on Instagram and Twitter. Come talk to me about Brotherhood, Full Metal Alchemist. I am currently in a watch of that. I've never seen it. I've only seen the original series. And by golly, is it different and is it really good?
I've
So
heard.
come talk to me about that. I think it's has been a lot of fun.
Tyler.
You can follow me at the Tyler Olson on Instagram and Twitter. Talk to me about how we almost ended racism back in like 2007 when Linkin Park and Jay-Z came out with Collision Course. Man, we were so close there.
Of course.
We were so close.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't think we were there quite yet. So I was listening to it yesterday. That shit's still fucking... That's some good shit. I'm just imagining all the Kingdom Hearts FMV videos with that on the background. Like, great shit.
You want to know when we got closest to ending racism, Tyler?
When?
When we had a funeral for the N-word.
When did that happen? I didn't get the invite.
That happened in, what was it, like 2006, 2007, somewhere in there.
Who called the funeral? White person?
I don't know.
It sounds like some white people shit.
If it was a white person funeral, it was a boring ass funeral too.
All right. We'll stop being racist, but we're gonna do it our way.
We're going to bury it here. As for me, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, only at Sean Soapbox. I am taking this moment to create a new segment called Pal of the Week. Pal of the Week is the person who had the best takes and who I just feel like picking.
Oh, easy, me, right?
No.
Spirit.
You said the spirit. That was correct.
But I redeemed myself.
Yeah, but Kale never needed redemption, so Kale wins.
Pal points.
Collusion.
Pal points. What collusion between me and Kale?
I think so.
It's a genuine thought.
Collusion.
Listen, I'm as surprised as anybody about this.
Who do you want to thank?
Let's see. I guess I'll thank Jean Grey.
Yeah. Ooh.
Tigra, the cheetah.
Yeah.
Sean, you ever listen to
Yeah.
Jean Grey, the rapper?
Yes, I have. Yes,
She's good.
absolutely.
She's real
Yep.
good. Yeah.
One of the best. Very underutilized,
Underutilized. Yep,
underrated. There you go. Yeah. Westworld and Better Call Saul just ended, which means that pretty much the time of good shows for the year is over, and I'm bummed about it.
Yo.
Sean, watch Mr. Mr.
They
In
both.
Between.
Did you see that? They both went.
Hold on. Sean,
This-
Mr.
Both TV fellas coming at you. Hold on. You're gonna hold on a second.
it's on Hulu. It's called
Yeah.
Mr. In Between. It's a black comedy, like crime drama.
Oh, okay.
And it's about like an Australian like fixer.
Oh.
It's good.
It's when you say black comedy, you mean
Like a-
dark comedy,
Dark,
right?
dark,
Oh,
dark.
okay.
Yeah.
It's like like Tyler Perry.
No. Like dark humor.
Oh, yeah. It's a Medea. You didn't know that? Tyler Perry tries on an Australian accent.
I bet it's happened. I was gonna say when I in the break when I used the bathroom, I had a bathroom thought. Bob Odenkirk for Victor Von Doom.
Didn't we say that?
Yeah, that we
Did we?
Yeah, I was just
I
trying to
think we said-
remember. I feel like that came up last week.
Better Call Doom. Did we make a Better Call Doom joke there?
That
No, we
wasn't
didn't
said.
do that.
That's
Yeah,
good.
that's new.
Yeah.
Did we?
He's,
We must have
he's free
said.
now. He's free now. Is all I'm saying.
We must have said Odenkirk for Xavier or something.
It was Doom.
I think it was. I think it was Xavier. Now that you're saying it. Yeah.
Bob
Or it was
Odenkirk's not free.
Magneto. It was Magneto.
No.
It was Magneto, the other guy, as Xavier.
You
That's
guys are
right.
talking about
That's what it was.
Gustavo.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh, that's what it was.
You should have let him go,
Stop him.
Tyler.
Gustavo is what he said.
What's funny is his Breaking Bad character is called. His name is Gustavo Fring. So
That's what I was thinking of. That's what it
and I
was.
knew you were going to do that, and that's why I wanted it to happen. But
Damn it.
that's why Tyler didn't win Pal of the Week. See?
Kept trying to fix it.
I'm Marco's pal of the week.
Oh, okay.
Saving him from himself.
Wait, you're just telling him that?
I'm taking it for myself.
All right, fair enough. We'll see who wins Pal of the Week next time here on the show. Thank you guys so much for listening. Until next week, we're the Comics Pal signing off. Take care, guys.
See you next week.
Bye.